live. They said we live. No need. We are live on the tube. Tube is
Let's
here.
go.
The family is here. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Happy
Happy
Monday.
Monday, y'all. Last Monday of January. Last Monday of January.
Man, this month went by
It's a
fast.
quick one. We ready planning for December. Shout out to everybody that's in here with us. Tube, what's going on? Ernest, what's going on? Red Panda family, how y'all feeling?
Hey,
Yes. Sorry for the delay. We're here.
live.
Live, I might say.
Yes.
Market Mondays is here. We had an eventful day today, actually. Shout out to our good friend Frank Holland, who had us on
Frank, I love you.
CNBC live stream today. That was dope. Yeah, really dope situation. So anytime that we get a chance to connect with Frank is always good. So shout out to Frank, man.
Yeah,
Good dude.
shout out to the whole CNBC family. And definitely Frank, man. Like I said to him while we were doing the live stream, anytime he's ever had an opportunity to highlight us or, give us a boost of confidence, especially in rooms that we hadn't walked in yet, he's always done that. He's always lent his platform, especially where he's at on CNBC as an anchor and as an analyst. And as a producer of content, like he's come here with his film crew. He's visited us in Philly at Roots Picnic. He's just been generous with his time. He's obviously been a guest on Market Mondays. So shout out to Frank, man. That's one of those things that you don't really see too often, but when you do, you got to recognize it. So that's a real one. Shout out to him and shout out to the city of Philly.
Yeah.
Gotta do that.
And on the love topic, Earn Your Love is coming soon. And me and Rashad need to listen to Troy more.
That's a fact. How's the microphone level sound? Let's start this off early. YouTube, how does the microphone sound? How do we sound?
I need top row jersey energy. I'm feeling Cash App ready tonight. Let me get some
that's a
love.
throwback.
Let me get some love. Come on. What we doing tonight? Bring some energy. Go tag 5 friends. Go tag all your exes. Say I'm up right now. Tag 5 people you love. Have them come in. What are we doing? Come on. Happy Monday.
Shout out to London. Yeah, Troy got the assets over liabilities hoodie, Black History Month.
Come in right here with it. Come right here with it. Be right here with it. You see what it is? Now, somebody might have said, yo, that's a yard man thing. But no, we really just representing for everybody. February is our month. But every month is our month. Every day is our day. Shout out to the team, Bam, Smith Dog, put this colorway together. I like this one. I'm glad y'all feeling it.
Assets over liabilities. Never forget who pioneered that slogan. There's a lot of
talk on it, right?
Came up with that, came up with the design, came up with everything. Let's keep it in perspective. A lot of people have used the assets over liabilities, which is amazing. But let's not forget.
Marion Suge Knight Rashad Bilal has returned.
Because if you don't tell them, they're gonna forget. Or they're going to remix the story. So that's the story. I told Mike 4 years ago when we was coming up with a merch design that I thought assets over liabilities was a good slogan. And I said the bar should be under the assets. Had to actually draw it up, the diagram, to actually physically show him how it should look. I think he had a different idea, but I really thought that the division equation would really strike the point. And who knew that it would turn into a cultural phenomenon, but it has. So shout out to everybody out there, the assets over liability merch, everybody that has championed the slogan.
Hey.
All the rappers.
Yeah. Hey, Ben, we got one. Tube said we got one, Ben.
Yeah.
We got
That's
one.
fire, though.
So there's a lot to talk about today. So let's get into it. But before we do, dope episode tomorrow. Craig Livingston. You want to talk about Craig for like 1 minute?
Yeah, man. Craig Livingston, and if you were at InvestFest, you had the honor and the privilege to hear this gentleman talk. When we talk about real estate, obviously, we've talked about Don Peoples a lot and what he's done, but what Craig is doing is almost like an apprenticeship, and we talk about mentorship, and that's what he's gotten from Don, and he's been able to implement it in his own way in the real estate and development game. And what they've done with him and Cheryl McKissick as well is created a conglomerate of real estate titans, man. And so Craig's knowledge base is just impeccable. Went to the top schools. He's a UConn grad, so he talked to us about that as well. But just an amazing story, man. The common everyday man who's doing great things and women as well. I don't want to just discourage that. The women, they needed a platform, and gentlemen like Craig are priceless individuals with invaluable information that they're gonna provide. And this is another one of those ones, man. I'm glad we did real estate because that seems to be a topic. Obviously, we spoke today with Frank about it. But we had Matt on, and now we're following it up with another one that's going to be a classic. So make sure y'all get your notepads. This is one of them ones. Every time we say this is one of them ones, it's one of them ones, man. So make sure y'all tap into that.
Craig Livingston, one of the biggest black real estate developers in America, and is Don Peoples' partner.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually Don Peoples' partner, and they're working on that skyscraper in New York City, Affirmation Tower. So
yeah, and he got some developments that he's done in Harlem too.
Yeah, so he's building a hotel.
Yep.
The only full service hotel in Harlem.
Yep.
He's building it. So he's one of them ones. He's one of them ones. So
when did he start developing that? Really
the
quick?
Harlem Hotel?
Yeah.
So
when did he start developing that? Really
the
quick?
Harlem Hotel?
Yeah.
I think
2021.
Yeah, recently.
Yeah, real recent.
Yeah.
From a real estate and stock side, when people start buying big properties like that, you probably should go look.
Yeah.
When and where, and that should be a buy-in price on the stock side as well. They see something there that's Harlem's gonna go crazy the next 2 years.
And so
anything like Brooklyn, my God,
it's one of those things. Like we drive past, in the city all the time. We drive past vacant lots and we drive past brownstones, and we don't see the scale of what they can be. And so just to take a dive inside of his mind to see what he sees when he drives past it is one of those things that you just can't get anywhere. And so I'm glad he was able to share and go in depth with the information for our audience, man. It's going to be information packed.
Yeah. So
I'm looking forward to it.
Check that out tomorrow, 8:00. Dope episode. And then this week we will be in Los Angeles, California. We'll be on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Doing West Side things, but I gotta take a moment to thank. I gotta give a moment to thank my brother Dave Gross for inviting us. One of the dopest things that we've ever been invited to do. Dave Gross is Nipsey Hussle's business partner. He was the one that really turned Nipsey on to a lot of the business moves that you've seen him make. He's become a good friend of ours, and they're teaching a class at Loyola Marymount, a 6-week Nipsey Hussle class, where they're breaking down his business model and talking about different things. So each week of the class, he's bringing different guest lecturers in. Last week was the first week of the class. He brought in Black Sam.
Mm-hmm.
He brought in a bunch of other people.
We need to tell people who Black Sam is?
Nah, they should know that.
Okay.
He brought in Black Sam. He brought his other brother Adam in, and a bunch of other people that was involved in the Marathon clothing, and they taught a class on the Marathon brand. And this week, the guest lecturers will be Earn Your Leisure.
Hey.
Myself and Troy.
Hey.
It's an honor. It's a pleasure. Something I'm really excited about and looking forward to. We was big fans of Nipsey Hussle, and it's just so ironic that, we've been able to connect with pretty much everybody in his inner circle.
Mm-hmm.
And, he said that everybody that's going to be teaching the class is somebody that knew Nipsey, and the only ones that didn't have a relationship with Nip was us, because he just felt like we're doing is just so in line of what Nipsey had going on, that he just thought that it was only right if we came and taught the class. So my first college class that I will ever be teaching, is it yours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's legendary.
So yeah, looking forward to it this Wednesday at Loyola Marymount College in LA.
Humbling.
Dope. So if you're a student,
pull up
on us, man. Even if you're not a student, you might be able to get in. Who knows?
Yeah,
what's the capacity?
Did they give it to us?
I'm not sure the capacity, but
I'll be there.
It's gonna be one of the ones.
I'll be there.
Yeah, man. This is one of those moments in the journey that is just, it's extremely humbling. Like you said, huge fans of Nip. And actually, every episode of Market Money's that we do, like, there's a painting of him that's looking at us as we're doing it. So it's going to be a powerful moment just to be and to be around some of the people who actually grew up with him and can tell us the stories, man. It's going to be an emotional one for me, just because I can remember March 31st, 2019 so well, and where I was at and how I felt in that moment, and how just a couple of weeks prior, we had made a list of people we wanted to sit with, and we both just had him at the top of the list. Like, that's what we have to have, and so it's going to be a moment, man. I'm happy to be part of it. And again, shout out to Dave Gross for thinking of us and having us part of it. It's going to be dope.
Yes. All right. So LA will be on the West Coast doing some other things as well. Ian, the floor is yours for any announcements.
Yes, I want to say congratulations to Weezy, Emily, Kenya Barris on the premiere of You People. Watched it this weekend. It was fire. They worked on that for a long time. It was pretty damn good. Weezy, I'm proud of you. Love you dearly. I was on 97.9 The Box this morning in Houston. I gave a couple gems away on investing and how if you want to make $500,000 in a year. So if you're looking to build a business in a recession and want some tips on how to do so, tune into that interview. Shout out to Keisha, Jessica, and J Mac. I appreciate you. Stock Club call will be tomorrow at 9:30 Central, but if I'm delayed on the plane, I will send you an update and let you know what time we will have it. And I too will be in LA for the Grammys. So
Grammy family.
Shout out Rance 1500. Yeah, 1500 Academy. Shout out to my Def Jam family, my Universal family, Murder Beats, Babyface, Kelly Rowland. Hey, how are you? And everybody else at Sony Music. I will be at the actual Grammys acting a fool. So if you're there, let's connect, network, meet. And if I've made you money, please put yes in chat. Y'all better not let me get next to one of the ones. So
Grammy family.
They're gonna think I want a Grammy.
Hey, all right.
Think I want a Grammy.
Hey. Let's get into this.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just do this disclaimer. And before we do that, I want to shout out, since we shouting out chats, let's shout out our Market Mondays chat. We had a dope call yesterday. Shout out to everybody that pulled up to that. We got into some things. And I see that they're not on the show list tonight. So y'all were in for a treat yesterday. And shout out to everybody that was in the book club. Shout out to G and all the earners and everybody part of the RPX fan that pulled up to the book club. That was a dope call on real estate as well. So, folks, you know how this works. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important that you do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. This is a message brought to you by the good brothers at Earn Your Leisure and the good brother Ian Dunlap, the master investor himself. Please do the research. And when it's great research, share the research. And when you find out it's useful research, please give credit to the people you found it from. Thank you.
Let's do it.
We love you all.
So let's get into this. What are 3 ways to stop over trading so you can make more money in 2023?
Yes. I was talking to a brother earlier and he was like, hey, I'm having an issue with over trading. Really good trader. He has some amazing entries. So number 1, you have to pick a person, ideally your significant other, or someone that you're really close to, and share your results every single day. Now, traders, we do like this when we have a bad trade. We'll be like, I ain't going to show that one. Show all of your trades for the next 90 days to a significant other or person that you care about dearly. That's number 1. Number 2, one thing that helped me on my journey that helped me like catch fire, I began to post my results on social media for the month, quarter, and year. So a few years ago, when I posted my yearly result and yearly return, that helped keep me accountable, because anybody can have a great week or a great month, but year-over-year gains are really tough. And then number 3, I've said this before, but for every time that you have a loss in your account, you need to pick a person that you turn that money over to as well. So let's say you're trading options or you're trading futures, and let's say you lose $2,600 in a day. Guess what? Got to pick an accountability partner and also pay them $2,600. I know the comments on YouTube are not going to be favorable, but when you got to turn over to your bay a loss, like your loss report card, and pay up to 26, trust me, you will stop trading more than you should, and it will give you an accountability partner that will help you. So when I was like when Xander was first born, I would put my win-loss record on the refrigerator on the dry erase board to Melissa every week, and she was hoping that I would lose, so I had to pay the other part of the money up. And then wins went good because I'm like, I'm not gonna pay you twice, yo. So later in life I ended up paying twice. But I'm so honored to because you're an amazing mom. Thank you so much for being incredible and allowing me to have a child with you. You're incredible. So I'm Grammy ready.
Yo,
listen, what Drake say?
So
hey,
this is a question because a lot of times when we hear overtrade, people think that they're overtrading the same stock, right? And that could mean like, yo, I'm doing 13 different companies. I'm investing. But that could also mean like I might just be overtrading the same stock, right? Like I might be taking too many trades of the same stock. In fact, one of the things we heard yesterday when we were asking a gentleman, like, what do you trade? And he said, I only trade one thing. But that doesn't mean that you don't overtrade, right? So can you like?
But you can take 15 trades in one day. Yeah, like ideally on a monthly basis, you shouldn't take more than, 8 trades maximum. If you really want to have a high win rate, 4 would be great. 1 trade a week is amazing. Fellas, put in chat, less is more. And I said on the call yesterday, I know it feels like when I come on and say, take 4 trades, I'm trying to keep you from getting the bag. What normally happens is like you'll have 6 or 7 trades that work well, and then trade 8 through 14 goes incredibly horrible. And now you're trying to average down like crazy to make up for the losses, and then you end up breaking your laptop and your mouse. Any of y'all threw your laptop against the wall or mouse before? Now you got to put up drywall and get a new mouse. Less is more. And then once you have control of those, like even if we playing ball, like, or let's take it to Mahomes and Jalen Hurt. Like last time, Joe, you still, shout out to Joe Budden, you still ain't paid me my $500 for when Brady beat Mahomes last time. And we won charades. Did he pay up that bet?
No.
Shout out to Joe. Go check out the episode.
He has not.
Anyway, Corey, what up? But even then, like, I'd rather have a player that's incredibly reliable that gets slow gains and chips away. Like Brady's great at like 4 to 7 yards. Mahomes scrambles better out of the pocket, bigger arm. You can argue a better quarterback, but in those tight moments, are you going to follow the same routine and system over and over and over again? So in your trading, you want to be very methodical. I know it's more exciting to run off 700, 400% in a year, but I'd rather get 60, 70, 80, 90% year over year on my trading and have stability.
Yeah. And be okay with that. Right? Like be
Yes.
okay with 20%. Be okay with 30%. Like those are great. Those are amazing gains. Right? Obviously everybody wants to hit the Grand Slam 500%, 600%, but if you're doing 30%, 20%, that's pretty good. Like you should pat yourself on the back and figure out what strategy that you use to get that type of gain and keep implementing that. Stick to that.
And then the bigger gains will come. Put this in chat. All the big gains come from discipline. There's at least maybe 15 people I know that can probably trade better than me month over month, or maybe over a 3-month period. Over 6 months, hard pressed. And I've had my best, like last year was my best year trading. I'm trying to get to, I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm trying to get to like a place where I have like 2 years with no losses. Like I haven't had a loss for like 9-10 months, but I've taken way less trades. Like I'm doing maybe 4 or 5 max a month. And I'm still looking at it all day, every day. And it's hard not to push that button. Like I'll be one hit buy bid so bad on NinjaTrader, but it's better to hit like one solid trade for the week with size and for a bigger target than it is to like scout your life away.
There you have it.
Well,
hit the like button. This is live.
Yes, please.
We are live in the flesh. For Market Mondays, we flew in just for Market Mondays. We was in Puerto Rico. We forgot to mention that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rachel
Rogers.
And shout out to our Puerto Rican family, travel, PR.
And shout out to your satchel. Not a purse, a satchel.
Yeah. Shout out to Palomino Beach.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
I want to go back to Mexico so bad.
Puerto Rico, the vibe, man. You know, it's always good energy.
Newfound respect for Puerto Rico.
Yes. Yeah, shout out to the real
place.
PR travel. They held us down out there.
This is true.
That's incredible.
So let's talk about Baidu has followed OpenAI's footsteps and has created a bot similar to ChatGPT. So there's some competition for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So first we got to tell them what Baidu is. And I told this story maybe in the early episodes of Market Mondays, but Baidu, the best way to describe it is the Chinese version of Google. And I remember I was reading like a Business Week in 2007, and I was like, "Oh, Google. Okay, well, what's better than Google? Let's find another Google." And the company Baidu came up, and then I invested in it, and I got scared, got nervous because the market pulled back around 2008, and Baidu went on a tear, and I think they split twice. I think they did 7-1, then they did 30-1. That was one of those lessons. I'm like, oh my gosh, had I just been disciplined enough. But like I said, you gotta go through things to understand things at a greater scale.
Absolutely.
So Baidu is a Chinese version of Google. What they've done is they've created a bot, which has an AI tool, which will enable Baidu's main search services to allow users to have conversation-style results. And so imagine rather than typing a search, you're actually just saying it, and the AI is telling you back the answers. So kind of almost like a hands-free situation, which is interesting because, ChatGPT they haven't gotten together with Google, the largest search engine. They're trying to do it with Bing, which like we spoke about. I'm not sure how many people use Bing or even know what Bing is. So they're ahead of the curve in that sense. Obviously, the population of China is much larger than ours, and the user base could be, but it's an interesting proposition. I'm sure that the good folks over at Microsoft are watching this very intently. When you invest $10 billion, you want to know who the competition is, and you want to know what they're doing. So I'm sure we'll see something from the good folks at Microsoft about this.
You think Baidu is a competitor now?
I don't know if it's a competitor, only from the standpoint of the regulation from Baidu. Obviously, if the Chinese government kind of controls what is allowed to be searched, which obviously doesn't make it as open and as free as what we have here in Google. So from that standpoint, I can't really see it as a competitor.
I think so. Like, for example, when Ford, their greatest invention was the formation of the assembly line. Then Mercedes had to follow suit, and other companies did. I think this is just an extension of the automation to remove the workforce in 2030. Now, of course, with all the noise that it's making, I would say that it's smart for Baidu to make their own. I don't know if it's going to have a tremendous impact on the stock overall, even though Baidu has been pushing up a little bit at the top of this year, but I do think we're going to see every company make their own. Well, every major top 10 tech company make their own version of. But I think clearly, like even with the iPhone space, ChatGPT is the iPhone of AI right now. Baidu's version would be an Android. Android still has some value. Shout out to all the Android users. I'm learning not to alienate the audience. But ChatGPT is a clear leader. I think we're just seeing more automation to drive the workforce down and get to that goal. And I said it on a chat yesterday, but even on Amazon's front, they need to get to a place where they let off like total 24 to 26% of their workforce for the stock to go back up. Please be mindful. I don't think that they've ushered in these automation systems by accident at scale. While every tech company, like look at it like this: you don't think that all the people in tech was getting drinks together and was like, "Yo, we should just lay off a whole bunch of people and find a way to replace them" 4 or 5 years ago, and then slowly usher it in after COVID, after making the Great Resignation thing a big PR move. This is planned. This is controlled chaos, if you will.
Yeah. And we got the functionality for it has increased. I think a lot of times, I mean, especially when we've discussed it and the people we talk to about it, we look at it from how can it create, Word documents and things of that nature. And I was talking to B, shout out to B, and he was telling me, they have the world's first robot lawyer, and it was created from AI and using ChatGPT. Because if you figure like from a legal standpoint, I mean, it's pretty much a lot of documentation. And so if you would tell the case, and it could kind of create a defense for it. And so it starts out as a legal assistant, but then when you see the reports that, ChatGPT just passed the bar. I mean,
it's getting scary.
Yeah, like think about that, right? Interesting times, man.
Also, I just posted on Yalisha's Instagram page an hour ago. I don't know if you saw it, but
the melting.
The melting. So scientists have created a shape-shifting robot that can melt its way out of a cage. It's on our Instagram page. They have the video of it, And they took a metal with low melting point, and they put magnetic particles in it, and they made a melting robot. Now, this is interesting because obviously this can like slip in and out of different situations. So they gave a diagram of how it can actually go into the body and take out like cancerous cells and different things of that nature. But it's literally a robot that's solid, and then it can be melted, and then it can be solid again.
Like Terminator?
Man.
That's interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Terminator 2?
Yep, like exactly like the Terminator.
Everything is always a foreshadowing.
Yo, that's crazy.
It's like the Terminator.
You need to go look at our robot Terminator Enemy of the State.
Well, the thing about it is anything, if you ever want to predict what's going to happen in the future, watch movies. Because it's
Absolutely.
like all of these movies, somebody has to be able to think about it. So if somebody can have an idea of it, that means that it's going to become possible at some point in time.
Yeah.
And movies are usually a good indicator of what is to come in the future. So Terminator 2 is actually very similar to that. And they have this is a micro robot, but if they can do it with a micro robot, then they're gonna be at some point. They probably can now do it with a robot that's 6 feet tall, right? Have like robot that's 6 feet tall, and then can melt into liquid, and they can go underneath a door, and then become a robot again.
To tie into the episode that you guys talked about racism and police injustice, I am very afraid that if Boston Dynamics puts their foot on the gas, that same kind of thing will eliminate any white cops going into black neighborhoods, and it will be all robots that police and arrest in our neighborhoods in the next 10 years.
Yeah, well,
be careful.
Yeah. We're going to talk about, do you want to go into this now, or I do?
Yeah, let's do it now.
So the Tyre Nichols, let's talk about this. First and foremost, rest in peace to him, and prayers and comfort to his family. I believe he has a child. A very heartbreaking situation. If anybody has watched the video or heard, I'm pretty sure everybody at least has heard the story by now. It's pretty disturbing, but unfortunately it's not surprising because it happens so often that now you kind of become desensitized to it. But it's interesting when you look at it from a financial standpoint. And yeah, we did have a video, which was actually a older video, but we repurposed it. It's on our YouTube channel. Put it up yesterday. Check it out. We talk about the business of police brutality and police brutality bonds. It's actually an extremely interesting case study when you look at the financial incentives for police brutality. It's actually a whole economic system built around police brutality that nobody really knew about. And we kind of spoke about that in detail. It's on our YouTube. But another thing that's interesting that I posted on Instagram is how much money America spends on its police department. So America spends more money on its police department than almost every other country in the world spends on their military. So America spends the most money on its military out of any country in the world. China is number 2, and then number 3 is the U.S. Police Department as far as budgets, followed by India's military, Russia's military, Saudi Arabia's military, France's military, Germany's military, UK's military, Japan's military, and South Korea's military. Now, what's even more disturbing about this is that America has one of the highest crime rates for developed nations in the world. It's number 4 in the homicide category. And I believe we have more mass shootings than any developed country in the world. We have like 40 mass shootings so far this year. Mass shootings is any more than 4 people being shot at one time. So it's like, okay, we're spending a tremendous amount of money on police, but it's not making the country any safer. It's actually getting more dangerous. So from an economic
if it's a profit center, why would you make it better?
From an economic standpoint, that's disturbing for a few different levels because who's paying for it? We are. It's taxpayer money. So we're not only paying for police brutality because of the police brutality bonds, which we explained in detail, but we're paying for the police department, and it's not helping. It's only getting worse, and these incidents keep happening. Last year, more people got killed by the cops than any other year in history.
I think the average was 100 people a month.
It was like 1,200 people for the year.
Yeah, like so 100 people a month.
Really?
So it's like, where do the solutions come into play? So what we didn't get to show at the end of the video with the police brutality situation is that one of the things that is disturbing is that police don't suffer from these type of incidents. For the most part, they still get their pension. They don't have to pay out of their pocket. So the police unions are too strong. That's one thing, and they need to feel financial pain, because then when you affect people's money, things start to change. So it's like, why should an NFL player get fined for wearing jewelry, but a cop doesn't get fined for killing somebody?
Yeah.
Like that's just common sense, right? If you do something that's wrong, you should get fined financially. Your pension should be taken away. Like you should suffer financially. The whole district, the whole precinct should suffer financially, not just them. And then they'll put more, because it's like, okay, everybody says like there's good cops. Well, where are they? Because I never called the cops. Like, and that's the crazy thing about it. Like, I never in life looked at cops as protection.
I think that's a commonality. I think like even now, like I was watching some of the footage with my mom the other night, and that's her worst fear. Her worst fear for me growing up was me going outside and cops interacting with me, right? And so like when you're taught and you thought that it was to serve and protect, like protect from who? Like, you know what I'm saying? So her thing was like, I got to teach you how to interact with the police. Just listen to anything they say. Just comply with them, because she feared that they would harm me more than anything that I would possibly do to cause them to stop me. It would be like, hey, just act accordingly. Like that would be the things. Like I think that's a commonality, especially amongst young black men. I've never, and I'm with you on that. I've never looked at them like, hey, let me call them for protection.
I never, and I had to think about that, because there's been times where I had situations where theoretically I should have called the cops, but I called my friends because I don't want to call the cops, and that's sad. Like, right? It's like you shouldn't even have to think like that. But it's like, if I call the cops 9 times out of 10, I'm probably gonna get arrested. Yeah. So why would I even involve them?
Sad but true.
Why would I involve them in something where it's going to potentially backfire on me?
Yeah.
So the issue is like, how do we solve this? Because we keep talking about these issues, and I think financially,
can we be honest?
Financially is definitely a way to go about it, because when you look at the police brutality situations, and ultimately taxpayers are paying for those settlements, right? So it's like, I think we really start to have to attack the root cause of this situation and really start to hit people where it hurts in the pockets, because that's something that has never been done before. They've never had any pain financially. Their union has never had any pain, and them individually have never had any pain. And not like I hate all cops. I'm not against the cops, but I'm just saying, I mean, right is right and wrong is wrong. It keeps happening. So you keep telling me like, okay, well, it's good cops and this is just one mistake. Well, the mistake keeps happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, they're not all good cops. They're not. Like, so just stop saying that, because it's not true. And it's been proven that cops in certain neighborhoods treat people completely different than they would in another neighborhood. So it's not working.
Yep.
And to say like we need more better cops, that's not a solution, because the system is still not built on something that is beneficial for black people. So instead of trying to act like it doesn't exist, or say we need more cops, how many more cops do you need? We got more. We got more cops than anybody. That's not the problem. The problem is that the cops aren't doing their job.
The tough part is that this is a financial war. Ross Mack, shout out to my guy. In an episode with you guys, he brought up a good point of, if everyone in urban communities had big financial insurance policies that could potentially bankrupt some of these institutions. But we have to understand that homework assignment number one, which hedge fund helps incentivizes these cases for police forces? So we would need a Vanguard or Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanley to take them on as a competitor and hedge the payouts when these situations happen. I don't know if you've been living in this country long enough, but that's pretty damn hard to get somebody to get behind one, because that's like, and we talked about on episode 70. If we were the first product that was traded, slavery was the first startup in America. From that, you have incarceration, which is a derivative or spinoff of slavery. Why would we destroy one of the main product businesses in the country for the betterment of the people? And if we're going to be very honest, if you take out incarceration, mass incarceration, with tech, America will fall in probably 4 or 5 years. So that's why when the reparations conversation comes up, like, we're owed trillions of dollars that would bankrupt the country. And if we truly got the amount that we were owed, it would bankrupt the world. If you don't think it's true, look what happened in COVID. A cough damn near fucked up the entire nation financially. This is a financial war, as most things are. And it's going to be really hard to get someone on our side to fight these, because most people are only thinking about their own well-being for the time being. It's an unfortunate situation. I'm tired of this happening, man. This is heartbreaking. And then it was brothers who did it.
Yeah, it was
tough.
Yeah.
But put the solutions that you guys think in chat. We're open to it. But I do know from the top down, it's a lot of banks behind the scenes that are backing this happening.
A complete failure. A complete failure, man. To watch it is disheartening, but like you said, the thing is, like, we're making progress, and I forget who posted it, but it was James Baldwin, and it was like, how long do we have to wait on progress? Like, how many generations? Like, our ancestors were told the same thing. Our grandparents were told the same thing. We're watching it in this day and age. We're watching the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how long do we have to wait on progress? You know what I'm saying?
The grand solution is the one that we don't want, but we
like
have
you said,
to
it's the same. It's the same situation when we talk about crime. Like, there's going to be a war on crime, just like there was a war on drugs, right? There's a war on crime. We imprison more of our population than anybody in the world. There's a war on crime. We have more drugs than anybody in the world. There's more money being made from it. There's more being made from the treatment of it. So it's really not a war on anything, right? If anything, is all these things, these wars that have been created, have only enhanced the situations for the betterment of the systems that created them. So we just got to be mindful of that, man. It's unfortunate. It's disheartening. The fact that it was, black officers, I mean, they're not even looking at him as a human. So, it's inhumane. How quickly they would serve justice is also something that was, something that caught my eye as well, right? Like, we watched cases for the past 3 years, especially the George Floyd case, when we had to wait 6 months before people were even charged. Breonna Taylor, a year and a half before a police officer were even charged. We didn't even see the video.
And with pay, right?
These dudes were fired before we even saw anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, even that. So if that's going to be the case, then all right, well, that's a new precedent, right? So if we have video footage, then that's a precedent. It won't be administrative leave. It won't be, you get to keep your pension. It'll be, all right, well, they're fired and they're being charged, and these are the crimes they're being charged with. So there's a lot, man. There's a lot, and it's unfortunate, but to continuously watch it, and my brother and I were having this conversation. It's like it's the public lynching over and over again.
Absolutely.
Like, what does that do to the mind frame of a 8-year-old who's watching that? I got to explain that to my son, who is on the news, and we have to have this conversation about, what is actually happening here. So it's an interesting time. It's an unfortunate time. But it's a systemic time. We've seen it over and over. I don't know when we're going to stop seeing it, but we're just going to keep highlighting, and speaking our voice and bringing awareness to these situations. So, and I know some people are saying every cop is not bad. No, every cop is not bad. But if they're not.
The system is bad, though.
Right? Where are the police unions now? Right? When there's an injustice that happens to cops, I see police unions. I see them speaking up. I have not seen a police union speak up about these five officers, actually these 6 officers, because the officer who was actually tasing the gentleman in the beginning of the video, he just got suspended. the white officer who nobody knew his name, but was all wishing that they would pound him when they caught him. Like.
I mean, every cop is not bad, but I've never seen a union that I've never seen a union boss act responsible, because I remember you had a student that got killed by cops.
But they aren't allowed to. That's the other part of it.
Yeah.
When they killed, he was your student?
He was my student.
So when they killed, how old was he?
He was 17 at the time.
So
18.
That's crazy.
In the Bronx.
Yep.
So when they killed him, and they went to the union boss and all of these cops went to the courtroom and was like intimidating the judges and them and like laughing, like celebrating when the cops got off. Like, this is an 18-year-old kid. So, like I said, I mean, right is right and wrong is wrong. Of course, every single cop isn't bad, but these unions, they need to be broken up because they only are on the side of the cop. No matter what a cop does, I've never heard a union say, this is wrong, this isn't right. They're going to stick up for them no matter what. This is why they say it's a gang, because gangs stick up for each other.
Biggest gang in the country.
Stick up for somebody even when they're right or even when they're wrong. And this is what happens every single day. So eventually people going to get tired of it. And it's like, people are like, well, you still got to support the police. Why? Why do we still have to support the police? I don't understand.
Police unions
and
associations spent over
supporting police if they're not supporting us.
Unions and police unions spent $48 million on state lobbying and contributed almost $71 million to state level candidates in the last decade alone, according to data tracked by Open Secrets. It's a financial war, man. And of course, politicians can be bought easily. I know sometimes you guys get tired of us talking about money and it's like, yo, it's not the solution for everything. You have to fight. At the end of Machiavelli, Tupac said, when I get my money right now, it's time for war. We need money to hire people to lobby, to be lawyers, to press charges. And for those who are in law enforcement, if you know people in law enforcement, the good cops can't speak out. You ever heard what happens to good cops when they speak out on issues like this?
Yep.
This shit is not good.
Yeah.
That's the other part of it. Like, it's a game inside of a game.
They get bullied.
Yeah, so this just happened. I just got this. And so the 3 Memphis EMTs that were on the scene were fired just now, and the 7th police officer was relieved of his duty in the Tyre Nichols case. So that just happened just now as we were speaking about it.
Wow.
All right. Well, we'll see.
What did they want the EMTs to do? Stop the police?
No, so the EMTs, obviously, you're a first responder. Firefighters, first responders, police officers are also first responders. And so if you see somebody that's in distress, your job, your duty is to administer them. And so if you watch that video, if you watch in its entirety, you're talking about almost 15 to 20 minutes where they're watching a man who's handcuffed, who's going in and out of consciousness, who's literally fighting for his life. Yeah. And everybody's just standing there. Just like completely like it's not happening. Having conversations about what just happened. You see an officer limping from actually kicking him and hurting his leg. Right? He's getting treatment. But the victim, the senseless crime and the victim of this is his life is waning in the balance and nobody's paying attention or even administering him to give him first aid, that's what I said. It's just inhumane. And so they didn't do their duty. And so the report just came in that they were fired as well.
My Lord.
Unfortunate. All right, let's get back to stocks if we can. Intel shares fall sharply on a quarterly loss. What are our thoughts? And is this a good time to buy Intel, or should we leave it alone?
I can't put the dead signature on a chat, but they are on life support. I mean, I've been screaming, put yes in chat if you remember me saying, don't touch Intel. I know they had a strong PR push that they were going to make a comeback. Once again, the high of Intel was in 2000 when Nelly was wearing a Band-Aid on his face. Underlay, mommy. Hey, 75.83 was the high. In 2022, it got to $64. Since then, it went from $64 down to $27.95. No, it's not dead yet, but it is on life support. I'm going to signal Espiritu Santo. It's almost over. NVIDIA is a better competitor, especially in the space that we're in now. With GPUs being so important, Intel has lost their way a long time ago. It is a legacy brand that used to have incredible value like IBM, but it's no longer of any value. Shout out to everyone who works there. If you happen to watch the show, it doesn't mean that I don't like you. Just the stock overall is not valued how it was 22 or 23 years ago.
So Intel had a 25-year reign. It's interesting. I'm gonna actually shout out to, again. I'm gonna put this in the chat, the Market Mondays chat. I'm gonna give people a video that I saw on Wall Street Journal about the history of Intel and its main competitor, which is AMD, right, in the CPU space. Because everybody hears AMD and it almost feels like this is a new company, but it was actually invented in 1969, like 2 years after Intel, became a company, and it came from workers who were actually at Intel and decided to do their own thing.
To leave, yep.
But over the past 5 years, and this is, Lisa Su is a CEO that we don't talk about, but if you watch CNBC, she's always on there. Since she's taken over AMD in 2014, things have changed. And I think when we look at Intel, if it's going to be a company we're going to invest in, I think the biggest thing we have to look at is innovation. Like, what are they going to do that is going to be innovative? Because Intel, well, I'm not, that's my, if we're going to invest. I'm not saying that we should. I'm saying if we're going to.
Oh, yeah.
In 2022, AMD passed it in market cap for the first time in history, which is like, for a company like Intel, which was big on CPUs, which is central processing units for computers, they had a stranglehold on that, a stranglehold. And so to see a company that used to just copy what you did and kind of like passing along, to get a CEO that becomes innovative, that now passes you within 10 years, what's your response going to be? We haven't seen it.
Bad leadership.
We keep seeing quarterly losses from Intel. So the
Intel is the Dallas Cowboys of the chip space. Bunch of promise, never delivered. The best thing they can do that's innovative, self-transition. Sell it to Apple.
The Cowboy fans.
Somebody take it out to the pasture. I'm cool with the Cowboy smoke. Y'all not going to win for the next 20 years anyway. Don't matter. Shout out Ish. Get a new team. Get a new team. Intel needs to just go jump off a bridge somewhere and call it a day. Not dead, but it's on life support. I wouldn't touch it.
So what about NVIDIA, which is having a very good start of the year?
I love. It's been one of my babies I like them and AMD. But NVIDIA has been doing incredibly well. It was down today, 5%, but I do like, let me see if there's a price that I love for NVIDIA. Stock Club, don't kill me. Stock Club prices will be out tomorrow. I like NVIDIA at $86.29. By 2024, end of 2024, I have it going to $376.67. So it is a changing of the guard. Like, Ja Morant is it now. Like, I love AI. AI was my favorite player, but obviously AI is not in the league. Like, you have new players that take over. NVIDIA is like Ja Morant. Like, it may not. Like, sometimes you see the highlights and be like, oh my God. And then when I got the graphics card in my desktop, that thing is powerful. Feels like it can start up a go-kart. They have a huge space. And the thing that I do love about NVIDIA versus Intel, their leadership is very quiet. And they have a good management team that has done a great job at making sure to focus on the products. And if you're a gamer, you already know. Like, I haven't heard any person that games or makes content be like, I want an Intel chip. It's all like wearing lugs or something. I know y'all from New York. So
no. Nobody in New York is wearing lugs.
But no one in New York is wearing lugs.
That's a fact. Right? Oh, yeah. I thought,
yeah.
That was a Cash Money thing.
Yeah. Shout out to Cash Money. I may see you this weekend. I'm learning.
Yeah. And this is like a great, I know Ian, you didn't give a homework assignment, but this is like one of those things, if we're talking about like chips and semiconductors especially, learning the difference between a CPU and a GPU.
GPU, huge difference.
There's a big. That's why I always talk about every chip is not created equal. They're not all the same. They all have different functionalities. When we talk about GPU, and especially the spaces we're talking about, AI and artificial intelligence, and Web3 and these things, you're gonna need graphic cards. And if you want to know who the leader in graphic cards, I mean, it's pretty. It's out in the open. And NVIDIA has been leading the way. And if anybody is second, it's a distant second right now. So if that's the way,
I mean, and then they have a big competitor in one of my favorite companies. Been working on my Espanol, Manzana, Apple. Like you have to compete against Apple. That's why I say your competition is everyone on earth. They got tired of outsourcing those chips, and now, okay, bring that in house. And I have my meeting with Meta next month. Y'all better cut this check because when this VR headset come out with Apple, y'all gonna be in trouble. Espiritu Santo. Hey, you have to move faster. So when you're looking at a company to invest in, always ask yourself, what would you do if Apple, Microsoft, Tesla became the competitor? Do you still like it? If not, I would invest with the most quality companies, but Intel is on its way to being dead. I'm sorry.
Do remember that we are up for an award.
Yes.
NAACP award. Troy and myself are up in the category of best social media personality. Best social media personality, Rashad Bilal, Troy Millings. NAACP award, very honored. But the reason why I'm saying that is because we need your help.
Yes.
It is a public vote, meaning the way to win is if the public votes for you.
The People's Choice.
People's Choice Award.
Yeah.
So there's a tab on our website. You can vote one time a day.
Yes. Set a reminder, please.
Until February 24th. So, yes, set your alarm clocks, please. Yes, there's a tab on our website which will allow you to vote. And hopefully we can win.
Shout out to Miss London. I see you on the tube. She said she's been voting every day. Shout out to you. I appreciate that.
Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. Shout out to Mace and Cameron.
And Kiss.
That was legendary. What's going on with the Apollo? Why are they doing all these rap shows?
Yeah. Fat Joe was there 2 days before that.
Performing?
Yeah.
With who?
It's interesting.
He brought out Lil Kim and he brought out Remy.
No, I think it was Lil Kim's show.
No, it was
Lil Kim had her own show. Yeah, it was two separate shows. What's going on with Apollo? They trying to sell? I'm always listen. They had the boy there. Hell of a set. I heard Drake was there. I mean, Drake had a set. Then Lil Kim. Then Fat Joe. Then the '90s golden era concert of the year. You think if I was trying to sell a building, I would put on 4 or 5 shows like that and sell it off to Live Nation or somebody too? What is going on with our historic
Apollo
arena that we graced last year and tore down?
Do remember who also sold out the Apollo? Let's not forget. Let the history reflect who sold out the Apollo for financial literacy.
Who owns the Apollo? They're about to sell out tomorrow. Watch News going to drop in 2 weeks. Sells to BlackRock or Robert Smith. Call Rob. Text him right now. He buying the Apollo.
Robert
what we doing?
Smith. Shout out to Robert Smith.
There's always a buyer and a seller.
$9 billion on reaching that $9 billion mark.
Ooh.
He's closely approaching the 10 billion number.
How many figures is that?
It's doing well.
11 figures?
How much? Let me just do something here. How much would you?
The real number?
How much would you pay to get mentored from Robert Smith? Like an hour consultation.
Me personally?
How much is the hour consultation from Robert Smith worth?
If he gave the real answers I wanted,
Yeah.
I'll give him $1 million upfront and 29% in perpetuity.
29%.
That's a random.
No, it's not.
Why 29?
Still leverage. That's Grammy talk. I'll tell you why. I will say go look up leverage. Like I'll say this: even 50-50 deals are a bad deal after you factor in taxes and the diminishing market returns. So leverage is ultimately like to be in a 70-30 split range. And Robert, I'll bring you 10 other people that'll put you $1 million up front and 29% and stack these deals up, and we can package them up in a swap or a derivative or something on the back end too. So
$1 million up front.
If I get the answers I want, oh, absolutely.
And well worth it, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'll stay in the States for a year and not go back to Mexico. That's how you know I'm serious, boy.
Shout out to Robert Smith. Good dude. I'm just curious to see. Somebody said $10,000. Somebody said 100. Somebody said 20,000. Somebody said 199.
That's
like
crazy.
$199.
I guess.
That's crazy.
I guess. 100,
Got to know the
man.
prices.
199 is that's disrespectful.
That's a pair of Air Max.
I'm not
Like,
taking
what?
our console for 10 grand. Shit, okay. But maybe if you meet me at the Grammys, I will. With some deuce.
Grammy family.
Family. Hey.
All right. Okay. Chevron. Chevron has a record-breaking 2022. Profits were $35 billion for the year. Will their historic run continue in 2023? Chevron. Nobody's ever talking about Chevron. That's the crazy thing about it. Like, who's ever talking about Chevron? Oil.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about. I'm talking about just in general.
I got you.
The general world.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oil is not dead apparently. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, if you look at the number one sector last year, it was energy. So I think energy was up 23% last year, or some number like that. These are one of those necessities. When we talk about the things that you will need, right? These things are necessities. Consumer staples necessities. Energy is a necessity. Chevron had a great quarter, and I'll let you touch on it a little bit. But, I mean, tomorrow we're going to see another company that nobody talks about that's probably going to have an even better quarter in Exxon, right? They're looking at, what did they do, $35 billion? They're looking at estimated of $56 to $59 billion in revenue for the year. So energy is one of those sectors, man. When you get the timing right on it and you look at the world factors, obviously the crisis in Russia, we've seen oil prices spike, and we haven't had a solution there yet. So this is one of those sectors, man. You got to look at, and this is a stalwart. This is one of those legacy brands, especially when in the end.
Wait, define stalwart. Come on, you're in teacher mode. Let's go.
It's because
teach us. Tell us.
It was the Texas reference.
I got it.
Yeah, it's just one of those legacy companies that we don't think about when we think of investors, because it's not sexy enough. It's just not sexy enough. But there's growth there if you get into the right if you get in at the right number.
Yeah, Chevron is the second most dominant player in the energy space. Amazing management. Also, please write this down. Anytime that oil or energy companies go up a lot, it's usually a sign that we are in a recession. So one of the indicators I'm looking at, I told you before, to see if we come out of a recession, is how well China's COVID policy is reversed. So when they start to let people come out of mass. Number two, how well Alibaba does. Number three, I'm looking at Chevron to see how well they do this year, which would be an indication on if we are in a recession or not. So if you go back to what year is this? 1985. IPO, the low of that year was $7.31. By 2002, it was at $32.50, which is a great low to boat price for the stock. So incredible return from there. From 2002 up to 2016, it was at $77.84. Another great low to boat price. In 2020, it came down to $50.97, and from there it went from 50 to 174. This is why I always say too, and I'm not trying to play both sides of the coin, but this is why I say you need to hold for 5 years minimum, ideally 30, to maximize your wealth and invest in the top two companies. Chevron has amazing management. I don't think they'll have the same kind of run this year, but if they get to like 102.46 sometime this year or next year, I'll be really happy, and I see it going back up to like 172 from that entry point. But yes, I don't think they'll have the same record-breaking year that they did last year, but it is absolutely an amazing company.
Yeah, we got to keep those things, like you said, recession, inflation, all these things play into a role. When we talk about gas prices going up, oil prices going up, obviously the profits are going to go up as well for the company that's producing it. So,
yeah. Almost every asset class works if you hold it for a long period of time. The biggest mistake we make is holding on to assets for too little. And sometimes we do it in personal relationships. Like you got, well, Troy, not you because you're smart, but everyone in the audience and everyone watching. Have you ever like held on to a bad relationship too long and then you had something good and you're like, oh, that's boring. Let me let that go. We'll often do the same thing with a great company versus a bad one. Like when everyone was GameStop and AMC crazy, I didn't hear anyone mention Exxon really or Chevron, and these panned out to be two really good stocks to hold for the long term.
Yeah,
as well.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll monitor the situation, but
Can we monitor and bring Shook Shotty out, please?
I'm trying to really, chill out.
Yeah, we're gonna chill.
You can't go crazy every week. You gotta, take time.
I learned that the hard way too.
Take time off, so I'm gonna be diplomatic. This time around. And
you need me to get the leather jacket? I can go back to my normal state.
be diplomatic, man. Hit the like button and share this video, please. Mm-hmm. Kevin Samuel used to just not even talk until they got a certain amount of likes.
I'm not talking to
We should do the same thing.
Rest in peace, Kevin Samuel.
To the Godfather.
The Godfather. Yes.
I know we talked about it on CNBC, but I think it's a huge mistake that Match, ticker MTCH, or Hinge, or Bumble, I think their ticker was B and BL, did not grab him or any of the people in the dating space to put their content exclusively on their app. Huge mistake. Match, give us a call. I got a couple ideas because y'all stock getting beat up too. So Valentine's Day around the corner. Hey, if you need to get your love life together, Match, call us. Well, we can, I think Match is at $52 right now. It was at $182 back in 2021. Whew. Your stock is taking a pounding, like how some of you are going on Valentine's Day. You know what I'm saying? Just kidding. These are jokes written by 85 South, Charlamagne the God, and Andrew Schultz. The boy funny. Gotta protect, provide, and pound.
Respectfully.
British pound. British pound. Hey, Dad Joke King comedy special is coming soon. Let's go. But what do I know? Mexico Ian, Azul Ian is different, yo.
Oh man, cuffing season. Season.
Almost.
Valentine's Day is fastly approaching.
Oh, I hope everybody's earned their love.
Need to start acting right.
I hope you've earned your love out there.
Yeah. Earn your love. Valentine's Day is here, man. It's here. Mm-hmm. And there's no.
Can we get me and Brittany Renner on our first episode and break into that? Hey, y'all. Hey, Brittany, what's popping? What are we doing? Hey.
Yeah.
Could be a little entertaining.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Shout out to Amber Rose. Amber been wilding lately.
Amber Rose.
Hey, Amber.
Oh, man.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, y'all. Boy.
Very important.
You want to run down some stocks?
Well, I want to talk about this restaurant situation.
Let's do that.
So many restaurants are beginning to test digital-only restaurants. How will this affect the economy over the next decade? What is a digital-only restaurant?
Remember when ghost kitchens got really popular during COVID and people were like having pop-ups and delivering the food? Taco Bell is the one that issued it in. Shout out to Conundrum because he was the one who I saw make the post first. They did a pilot here in Texas where the Taco Bell was fully automated. I think it had one person in there like watching everything, but no employees. I have a buddy that works in the restaurant industry, and they said in 4 years they want to have majority, like 30% of the workforce to be, 30% of the restaurants that are fast food based to be robot driven. So you potentially could have a lot of these restaurants eliminate workforce, would clear up a lot of money on the books, save a lot of revenue, and probably could drive profits. I've been looking at Darden Restaurants. The ticker is DRI. Historically, an amazing company to invest in. I'm mad I didn't call it in 2020. 2020 went down to $29.11. It is now at $146.92. Everyone put in chat, what are some of the companies that Darden owns? But for lower, and probably won't be McDonald's, but like Burger King, Taco Bell, Jack in the Box, In-N-Out Burger, I can see them making a switch to put in automation. And for everyone who may think that it's crazy, I don't know if you've been to the grocery store lately. Self-checkout is getting bigger and bigger, and I'm seeing less people at the checkout lanes when I actually do go to the grocery store. And if I was a business owner the profitability of a place would go up tremendously if I only had one person working inside of the business, and all of your orders were being pushed out the drive-through by robots. I'm sure Dan Cathy won't adjust to this model because he has an amazing. Dan Cathy got no more trap house on earth. Like the efficiency of Chick-fil-A, and they're happy every time. I'm like, how do you do it? But Burger King or Jack in the Box or there's a couple other restaurants that need some help. I think their profits will increase dramatically. Unfortunately for a lot of us that in our communities, those jobs are going to be taken away and they'll never be replaced. That's the trade-off. And I truly believe this automation is being done to destroy the job market for us.
Yeah, I mean that. A lot of people. I mean, a lot of people start. Especially young adults, young teens. They work in these job environments. So to have that type of automation is like, when we talk about you have to have a skill set. You need to start training kids and educating kids on different type of skill sets and different type of tech. It's for a reason, man. Because there won't be opportunities for them, right? And if there's no opportunities for them, we know what comes on the other side of that, right? Poor decision making. Recklessness. Yeah. A lot of that comes with not having opportunity and economic resources. So it's scary, man. Who was it? Was it Taco Bell that did it first? They have the automated.
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
Yo,
I want to go check it out. Yo quiero.
Taco Bell.
Never ate Taco Bell in my life. You?
Of course.
Really?
Yeah, I never.
Of course. Taco Bell. When I was in college, I ate Taco Bell. Chicken burrito.
Chicken burrito. Yeah,
quesadilla.
They merged with KFC, so that was like
Taco Bell.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. Shout out to KFC. Remember the honey barbecue wings when they first dropped?
Used to be fire back in the day.
KFC changed the game 3 times.
The honey barbecue wings.
The original batter when they was cooking up with the original.
Is that pause?
The original changed batter. The game. That changed the game. And then they came out with those honey barbecue joints.
Those are different.
And that was revolutionary.
Those are different.
That was very revolutionary at the time.
What's the third?
The sandwich?
Potato wedges, maybe? They were the first to do that.
Ever?
Nah, that was cool. There was the first Salt Bay, but yeah.
No.
And then they start using that test tube chicken, and boy, you killed the business.
Yeah, no, now you couldn't pay me. You couldn't
chicken
pay
cocaine
me.
white. Like
chicken. Somebody put popcorn chicken.
Chicken looked like this. I'm like, I've never seen chicken that white ever. Muy blanco.
Just for clarity, you couldn't pay me to eat this stuff now.
You can't eat KFC right now?
Yeah.
Yo, there's an affinity. I'm telling you, Jamaicans.
He won't go to a diner in New York. What do you mean?
There's just something about KFC that Jamaicans just have an affection for. Like, if you look, you don't see any other fast food in Jamaica, you will see a Kentucky Fried Chicken. There's just something there that I don't know what it is. I don't know.
I mean, because black people love chicken.
Yeah, it's just it's different though. We got food. It's just
it's one of these things. It's not hard to figure out.
Mike, can we clip that out? But
even here, how many people like here like is going to KFC?
Are we gonna act like black people don't love chicken?
Of course, black people love chicken.
I mean, I don't know why, but it's culture.
Listen, I'm sure we have some viewers from CNBC. We're not going to play stereotypes tonight.
It's one of these things that it's an uncomfortable truth.
Okay, let's go to the scientific route. Chicken is a hybrid of what two birds that began in mass production in 1856? What two birds?
Yo, somebody give me a ChatGPT on this. What?
There is a reason why we have affinity
tell
for
us, please.
that poetry. But there's two animals that
I don't know the
together
answer. Ian, what's the answer? I have no
together.
Get Billy Carson.
One is an African fowl.
Okay.
And the second is, I'll let everyone else put it in chat.
No, I gotta look at the chat.
It's crazy how I like to do homework as an adult, but as a kid, I hated it.
Oh, so are you saying that the chicken was created in 1864?
It's genetically modified. It's like
in 1864?
Like if you look in literature from like 1400, 1600, they were like no chicken free range.
Oh, so the first chicken. So the first chicken was spotted in 1864. Is that correct?
I have no.
That's when they start to mass produce them.
I ain't fact checking.
Get some research.
That's when they start to mass produce them.
Okay. A duck and a.
You learn something new every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Call Keys up right now. We'll get to it. Listen, I ain't got in my intellectual esoteric bag in a little bit. I got some time when I put on the suit jacket. You know what I'm saying?
A pigeon.
Yeah. We haven't got the right answer yet. It's African
They told
fowl
me
and
do
something
not
else.
compare Jamaica's KFC to the ones in America.
Well, yeah, because the food sources are
told you,
cleaner.
they
And
different.
legislation is different outside the country. For sure.
Oh man. I'm not. Yeah, I gotta look. Now I gotta come back with the research on this. This is good.
Hey, Mike, can we put on like some Jeopardy music with this clip, please?
Perfect.
Yes.
I know what I'll be reading tonight.
Yes. It's funny when you study all these industries, the correlations that you end up seeing. Indeed.
I don't know about this chicken thing.
I'm
All
sure.
right, let's get to this later. Can we go? We
I'm
go.
sure.
All right, let's
Let's run some down.
Let's do this at the end of the show. All right, let's get into this. What are we doing?
Let's run down some stocks.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. Ian, you ready? You want to run down some stocks?
Yes.
All right, let's start with the big boys. Let's start with the whole index. Let's start with the NASDAQ.
All right, NASDAQ is doing good. I have NASDAQ going up maybe in 2 months, getting to like 12,826. Yes, NASDAQ has been taking a beating, but we should push up to the upside, and NASDAQ will be good.
Yeah, tough day today. Pulled back 2%. But for the year, we're looking pretty positive thus far. All right, that's good. Let's go to Lucid, LCID.
Not going to say dead yet, but we do need to get our affairs in order. Tesla is a dominant place there. Everyone put in chat, Espiritu Santo. It's almost over with. Kudos to the management there. If you're watching, I don't mean that I hate you. The stock is just not a great one to invest in. In 21, it was at $64. It's now at $11.75. No, if you're going to do something in that EV space, you have to lean towards Tesla, or I can argue Ford or GM, but I really don't love either. Tesla is a predominant player there. And what we talked about it the other day, like Lucid hasn't sold that many vehicles.
Yeah, there's a vast difference in the amount of vehicles that have been delivered. When we talk about Tesla, when you see the reports of having over 2 million vehicles put out to the public, and when we look at Lucid, for 2022 they put out nearly 7,500. It's not comparable
insane.
at this point. So good to know. And this is one we talked about too. BuzzFeed, they had a incredible day on Friday. They were up 85% on news that they are going to be using, again, ChatGPT to be producing some of their content. So the ticker is BZFD, BuzzFeed.
Basura. I'm catering to the Latin audience tonight. So yeah, it got up to $4.30. It should slide back down to like $1.77. If it breaks the previous low of 64 cents, you can get into it for a swing trade, but I don't know. It was at $14.77 in December. That's too hard of a decline. And let's be honest, like, I get the speculative news, but it feels like they paid for that PR. BuzzFeed has no advantage. So no. Maybe Meta will acquire them. Maybe that's a reach as well, but no.
There are some talks. How about EDBL, Edible Garden AG Incorporated?
Yeah, a few people asked me about this. This one I absolutely hate. Absolutely hate. It was at $90 in April. It's at $8.04. And hold on, give me 1 second. Yeah, last month it was at $5.74. So it bounced up a little bit from there. But usually if it's under $10, that's in penny stock territory. I wouldn't touch it. That's dead on arrival. Maybe for a swing trade if you just have money you want to gamble with. Maybe if you want to get it at $3 or something like that, but I wouldn't touch it. This is like penny stock pumping up garbage. No, don't touch it.
Can we throw a wild card? How
Yes.
about Live Nation? They've been in the news, obviously, with Ticketmaster over the past week or so, with their accusations of running a monopoly. People saw what happened with Taylor Swift's ticket fiasco. 14 million people try to buy 2 million tickets. Obviously, they sold out before the majority of the customers can get it. Then they go up for resale on side of Ticketmaster's website. Obviously, they can change the prices for them and make profit on the resale, which they couldn't do had it gone to an off-market site like StubHub or Vivid Seats or one of these other seats where they're not making profit from the resale margin. When it gets sold out on Ticketmaster, and then obviously if you ever bought, that little maroon circle means that somebody's reselling for a different price, which obviously causes monopoly if you don't let the tickets be released and then you just resell them for higher prices. What are your thoughts on Live Nation? One of my companies that I love, I'm not so sure.
During the pandemic.
During the pandemic, because I knew that people would come back to entertainment, and they have. People are, obviously you're seeing shows sell out. We're seeing that more and more. But on the surface, that makes sense. But when you hear situations like this, they're going to be I think it's in front of Congress very soon to fight this matter. What are your thoughts on Live Nation?
I know the DOJ also was coming after Google about being a monopoly, and I don't think they have a case for that. Live Nation has a better case of being classified as a monopoly. I like the stock. I really do. Full disclaimer, though, I know some people over at Live Nation. That doesn't taint my view, but if you look at the chart year over year, and the pandemic was like at $28. It's at $79 now. In 2021, it got to a high of 127. Sales are strong. I know from a consumer standpoint that being a monopoly is not a good thing for the business. It is. They really don't have much competition. I would say, though, if Live Nation and other companies like that are listening, when you have a stronger hold on the market, if you do right by your customer base will protect you as the fans of Apple did with him. Because for a long time, Apple had a monopoly on the smartphone market. Now that percentage has degraded some over the last few years, and they made up for it in other areas. But if you fix the reseller market, you wouldn't have all of these issues that you're having to go in front of Congress. But they've been on a tear since 2013.
Yeah,
the stock was at $10 and $9.36 then, and even through COVID, you've been up 3x still at when it was like at $27, and now it's at 79. I have it getting back to 122.64, and that is like a lagging indicator as well to know like when the economy is recovering and back on track.
It was one of those ones in the early episodes I used to talk about it, and I'm like, yo, it's gonna recover. It's at $42. As soon as people have an opportunity to get back outside, they're gonna be doing it. And so to see them run up to, like you said, 123, I was like, oh yes, I'm looking like a genius.
Yeah, you still holding it?
I am. Only because I tell people all the time, like, if you want to look at what you should be invested in, look at what you're spending. Yeah. And one of the things I love to do is go to shows. And so that makes sense. And when we talk about,
but you don't have as many shares as you should have, right? That's why you said that.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, I should have went.
Yeah, you're right. You'll learn. But even from the monopoly standpoint, like we said, from the ticket selling standpoint, that makes sense from monopoly. But if you look at a lot of the venues, they own, I think 75 to 80% of the venues,
lion's share,
they own. And so if you ever done an event, or if you ever been to a live event, you know that a lot of times when you look at your ticket, it's coming from Ticketmaster or Live Nation. So yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough out here, especially when you're doing stuff independently and having to deal with them. And if you don't deal with them,
there's no way around it.
I mean, you're going to be paying 30% if you use one of their venues. So
they like Hamdulillah, sign to the mob, boy. Live Nation not playing. Arm, leg, scalpel. Let's get it all.
Hit the like button. Let's get this bad boy up to 7,000. Market Mondays, often imitated, never duplicated. It's an abundance of information that's provided on these actual programs. Really think about it from a variety of different standpoints. It's a very broad-ranging show that covers a variety of different topics. Extremely educational and entertaining.
Absolutely.
Simultaneously. Captivating, thought-provoking. It is definitely one of the greatest shows of our generation. I think
absolutely
has transformed the landscape when it comes to business and investing. Commentary. We've had some of the most prolific and well-respected people in the world. So please do not take that lightly.
Because if you do, what happened, Rashad? They're gonna come to Mexico. We can pre-record everything.
Not to be taken.
You don't say it. No, I do know. 22-minute format coming soon in 2024.
Yeah.
Lightning round.
Lightning round. Lightning.
Highest return you can possibly get. Listen, when you go watch CNBC, shout out to everybody at CNBC. Frank, Bonawyn, Josh, Mary, I appreciate you, head of talent. But if you even go ask them, put some pressure on what would some of the insights and takes that I've had as well. So, yes.
All right, and I got this.
If I made you money, please yes in chat.
Especially for those people who
somebody said I'm not high, and I'm not tired. You know what? But it's like even with my monologue situation, I mastered the slow flow, and I realized that you have to talk to people slow because they don't understand it if you talk fast sometimes. So it's actually done on purpose. The delivery and is that
Sean Paul of the stock market?
Is that
You the Sean Paul of the stock market?
Mace.
Who you picking with? Mace? Beth is okay.
When I think of the slow flow, Mace. Nas is also
a
slow flow champion. But yeah, sometimes you have to slow things down and deliver it. So when you're practicing your public speaking, because it's one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
So you have to find your delivery. Some people's delivery is to talk very fast. Some people's delivery is to talk loud. Some people's delivery, my delivery, is something that I've actually worked on for a long period of time. So I'm not intoxicated, and I'm not sleepy, but I just want you to hear everything that I'm saying. So
this is the tone of leisure.
Well, so I see it now. Somebody just said you want to try you have an edible.
Yeah. So
he's never taken it.
He's high off life.
He's never taken an edible. Anything remotely close to it.
I'm not intoxicated at all.
I know some people though. Ian.
Shout out to Burner.
Shout out to Burner.
Shout out to Gumbo.
Shout out to Gumbo.
He's all over.
Shout out to Gumbo. His new show's coming out on Hot 97.
He has a show?
He got a show coming on Hot 97. Yeah, shout out to Gumbo.
Like a everyday show?
I think it's in the evenings.
Every day?
Hey, bro, what you doing calling me, man?
Shout out to Gumbo. But shout out to Burner for putting cookies out in Thailand. Like, that is, when you talk about global expansion, like, if you understand Thailand, if you look at the laws, and I had to read up on it about how, the country itself felt about marijuana and prohibiting it, to now obviously having people in Thailand use it, but for him to act upon that as fast as he did.
Success, low speed.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
International
expansion is a must.
Is
I'll say this right now for the last time. International expansion is a must until we get through this recession.
Can we talk about the Department of Justice that wants to break up Google's monopoly while Amazon, Uber, and others are getting into the ad game? How do we think this will play out? So what's the deal with this?
When I saw the headline, I thought it was old because it was talking about a DoubleClick and the acquisition of it. This acquisition, I think, happened 11 years ago. So they're saying, of course, they have a monopolistic stranglehold on the market. And maybe back then you could have made that argument. But when you have a serious competitor in Meta, you have the Apple App Store, which is an ad platform. E-commerce is dramatically changing. More people are advertising and building their business on Amazon's platform. I don't know how you can argue that Google has a monopoly when they don't have a lion's share of the business coming into them. Like when AT&T or Mobile got broken up, I think they had like 96% market share literally at the time, and it had to be broken up. In this tech landscape, I mean, of course, you have TikTok. There's a bunch of platforms on which you can advertise on. Now, does Google have a more efficient platform to advertise on? Absolutely. One of my favorite companies of all time. And I always say Google was able to do to the advertising industry what ad agencies were not able to do. Like Leo Burnett should have built Google's platform. They didn't. That's why you always have to worry about the tech bros coming into the space to destroy or find the gaps in what you're not doing right. I think it's a mistake, but also during a recession, not only does violence go up, domestic abuse, alcoholism, drug use, but cases from the government goes up as well. So you have to be mindful and be prepared for these attacks. They'll end up paying some kind of enormous fine, I'm sure. But there's too many platforms to advertise on, and they have too many competitors to be classified as a monopoly. And then also, if you look at even when Gates was running it, they were proposed to break them up. Like if you look at Google, the stock has done great. I'm looking at GOOG, but it's at $97.95. It's not like they're just producing the highest returns ever. They've been on a great run since 2012, pretty much. I think I wouldn't say it's inappropriate, but I think it's misleading to classify them as a monopoly. Great company. Do they have an enormous market share? Yes. But everyone put into that homework assignment. What percentage of market share does Google have over the entire advertising industry internationally? To drop in a bucket in comparison to what a monopoly would be classified as. So, yeah, but tech companies at some point have to go in front of Congress, and they have to go. This is a cost of doing business. That's why I always say there's no such thing as like true freedom. The higher you get, there's a sweet spot between like 10 and 25 million, where you have just enough to be like fine and have leisure and fun, but you're not on the radar. Once you cross a certain threshold as a company or as a person, and you get into that $50 to $300 million tier and up, personally, or 300 million to 1.5 billion as a company, the sharks are going to surround. It goes back to not being robbed. You're always going to have people that try and rob you or get pieces of your business in one form, fashion, or another, which is an amazing segment by Rashad last week. So,
Google,
that's a mistake.
Google purchased YouTube. Just for context, just for like looking at the numbers, they purchased YouTube in 2006 for $1.6 billion.
A steal, but at the time they overpaid. But what a hell of an investment!
That's like YouTube. Facebook brought
YouTube brings in
Instagram.
YouTube brings in $28 billion. It brought in $28 billion last year. Just YouTube to Google.
I'll never forget when Facebook brought Instagram for $1 billion.
$1 billion, yeah.
And they had the CEO of Instagram on Forbes, and they were saying like, "What is your company worth?" To like, what? Your company's not worth anything. You haven't made any money. He's like, well, we made $1 billion.
That's how much
it's obviously worth something. And fast forward now, Instagram is everything, right? So it's like
the most popular.
It's all in the eye of the beholder, man.
Yeah.
Somebody will say like that is a stupid for Facebook to pay $1 billion. Now, that's a steal.
You can argue if they wouldn't have had it though. Kudos to Kevin. Actually, my first designer, Mikhail, is the one who built the user interface, the first two for Instagram. Without Instagram, Facebook would have died probably 6 years ago.
They would be dead.
They'd be over with.
It's their most important tool in the toolbox. It's their most important tool in the toolbox. So it's like,
WhatsApp important.
No, WhatsApp's important, but it's not as important.
They haven't monetized it correctly though.
Instagram is the most important tool. So, like you said, they buy YouTube for $1.2 billion at the time. People were saying that you overpay for it.
Last year it brought in $19.7 billion. Well, 2021 it brought in $19.7 billion. 2022 it brought in $28.9 billion.
Now, this is the amazing part, talking about like Ponzi schemes. If you get 1 million views on YouTube, what are they paying you right now? Oh, let's break the internet.
Well, it depends on your content.
Podcast, let's say financial content or something in that realm, the higher tiers.
Well, like probably 20,000, 30,000, something like that.
Yeah, I would say anywhere between that 20 to 30,000.
And let's say you're doing prank videos or lower brow kind of content.
Profanity or no?
Yes. Closer to settle. Got to keep it clean.
You under 10. Maybe under 15. I'd say under 15 for sure.
Can't curse on YouTube.
Can't do that.
That's
man.
why even Math Hoffa,
gotta keep it clean.
You see his videos, they bleep the cursing out. Can't curse on YouTube.
Do not.
If you want to get monetized.
Keep the content clean,
y'all. I see. I say this to say, like, for those of you who are investing, would you rather like try to get 1 million views, and shout out to those you can, or be able to trade and make 20, 30,000 a day without the headache and hassle? But if they're paying you 20 grand for 1 million videos, I'm assuming on the back end, YouTube is probably making $4 million. But I sent you a plaque. Same music business finesse. The game is the game, man. The game is the game. Shout out to YouTube. Like YouTube is like y'all say, like it's funny that people say Vlad is a culture vulture while on YouTube when they are the big vulture. That is also a little lead for our chicken question from earlier too. A little breadcrumb. No pun intended.
No pun.
But what do I know? Just a guy with a jacket.
I saw that in the chat. Tube nailed it. Yeah. They got that. Yeah.
Got it.
They put that there.
The what?
They said the vulture.
Mm-hmm.
What? That's where chickens came from?
The hybrid of an African fowl and vulture.
Yep. The mass-produced chickens.
A fowl and a vulture.
A what?
Wasn't that? It was a fowl.
African fowl and a vulture.
An African fowl.
Fowl. Yes.
F-O-W-L.
Yep.
What is that? What is a fowl?
Not a fowl.
It's a bird.
What's a fowl?
Not a fowl, man.
A bird.
What is that?
Shout out to the birds I used to know.
That's what they didn't call on LeBron on Jason Tatum.
Yo, the referees.
That's a foul.
That's inexcusable, man.
Oh yeah, they you know
that's
it is
foul.
what it is.
It's inexcusable.
Brown not getting to the chip this year, so they let a lot more things slide than what they were used to.
Inexcusable what they did, what they doing with LeBron, man.
Shout out to the bro.
2 Tech 2 Index, no stress. I know some even messaged me like, hey, I still don't know where to begin. VOO, VTI is the first two you should have. Those are index funds. Index funds are an all-star team, Pro Bowl team, if you will. Other two, Apple and Microsoft, are the other two to invest in and hold for 5 years. 30 years is ideal. And if I've made you money, please put yes in chat. It's the easiest formula ever. The FANG era is dead.
Dead, he said. Real quick.
Yep.
Big week for earnings. Big week. Big. Real big. We spoke about tomorrow. Exxon will be reporting. AMD, another company we just spoke about, will be reporting. And when we talk about healthcare, we talk about a couple of companies. Stryker will be reporting tomorrow. Wednesday, we got Meta. And Thursday is the big day. The big boys come out. We got Apple, we got Amazon, Google, Qualcomm, and Ian, you're one of your favorites, and I agree with you in this sentiment. Lilly will be reporting as well. And Friday, Regeneron will be reporting. It's a big week for earnings. I mean, we know the importance of Apple. And so I saw some estimated reports. They're looking at maybe another $100 billion quarter, somewhere in the range, 96 to 100 billion for the quarter.
Not bad.
Which would be incredible. And then we got Jerome Powell speaking on Wednesday. What are we thinking? Quarter? Half a point? What are we doing? What do you think?
I think quarter.
Quarter?
Yeah.
Okay. Interest rates will be going up, ladies and gentlemen, on Wednesday. And so
shout out OJ the Juice Man. That's what I thought of when you said quarter. Quarter chicken, half a chicken. Anyway.
Okay.
Okay. Shout out Juice Man. Yeah, we got to keep this phase of quantitative destruction going. So rates will go up, but the market will do good. Eli Lilly, though, is like the Beyonce of the healthcare industry. Like, you can't go wrong. Instant winner every time. Slept on sometimes. Whew. Shout out to Eli Lilly. I mean, and also, if I can add VO, VTI, Apple, Microsoft, Lilly, that's unbeatable. Those five.
Little Uzi Vert. Go
ahead and do the dance for shot.
Little Uzi Vert. He walked the Eagles out with 10 Rockefeller chains on.
He did.
That's hard.
He definitely did.
That's hard.
No,
Eagles gonna take it in the Super Bowl.
Huh?
Eagles gonna take it in the Super Bowl. You want to bet?
Yeah, I do.
Yes,
I do.
Yes, I do. I do.
Actually.
I do.
How much?
Actually, I want to. Yes.
How much? $5,000 to get you curb service.
What you want? What you want to do, man? You know I'm riding with it. We know I'm riding with the Chiefs. For me, it's this personal. I was a Chiefs fan when I was 10 years old. Christian Okoye.
Okay.
I've been a Chiefs fan since they had Christian Okoye, the Nigerian nightmare, and Joe Montana, and you know I'm from that.
Keep going. Keep naming some players.
Man, Thurman.
No. Derek
Thomas.
Rest in
Derek
peace.
Thomas. The Chiefs, man.
Neil Smith.
The Chiefs. This is the era And I used to like the Chiefs because of their colors. That's why I really liked
Gotcha.
them. But
wait, you going with teams now? I thought it was just players.
no, I'm just saying I was a Chiefs fan
Okay.
for years. So I have this not even a question who I'm going for in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I just got
Pat's gonna be ready. I don't know about everybody else.
I got a whole bunch of Kansas City exclusive gear. Exclusive gear.
Did you?
Fly, like you're not
Arizona. Is that you out here?
Hulk Hogan.
Arizona, is that you out here calling?
Pat Mahomes.
Somebody pick up the phone.
Pat Mahomes, the best in the business.
For 100.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm riding with the Chiefs on this one, man.
He's gonna be ready. I don't know if his teammates are gonna be. That experience they had with Brady is gonna help them though. But I don't. Them lights get big, man.
For who?
I
For
don't
Pat?
know. No.
Been
For
there
his teammates.
He already
For his
won.
teammates.
They've been there before.
He got one. This is his third time.
I don't think they're gonna do it this time.
That's his third time. I can't.
I want to take wagers.
The Eagles have a good team though. They definitely shout out to Hurts. They have a great team. But I
haven't lost Super Bowl bet in like 8 years either.
I gotta ride with Kansas City. You gotta ride with the Kansas City on this one. Who you going with?
I'm a Washington guy, so it's tough for me to root for the Eagles. I used to love Randall Cunningham and like
thank you.
Jerome Brown and Reggie White. Like I love those Eagles. I was like, all right, I can root for those guys, but I'm just a loyal guy to Washington, man. Unfortunately, so I just want to have a good game. I think the Eagles will win though. I can't root for them, but I think they're gonna win.
Philly. Shout out to Philly. Shout out to Philly.
Philly fans different too, yo.
They disrespectful.
They'll assault you.
They caught Joey Bosa. You seen that?
Yeah, they've been going crazy.
Really?
They've been going crazy.
He went with the old athlete. I'm rich and you're broke.
They stopped talking after that. No, they put the camera down after that.
I'm rich.
Really? They put the camera down.
And you're broke.
They put the camera down. They put the camera down after he said that. I'll tell you that much. Jim Chrono says he's still shorting Tesla as EV competition increases. Profit margin peaks. How do you feel about him shorting Tesla? Is this the time to be shorting Tesla?
I wouldn't. They have too much fanfare. Hedge funds like them too much. Now, if Michael Burry said this, I would. Michael's normally like in his positions 30% lower than I would like. But if you look at the stock historically for Tesla, the range to short it would be like around the 350 mark, or even like at. I can understand at 312. It's at 166 right now. Like this is an area in which you should be like accumulating a position. Like if I go look at this chart all time, so like the ideal areas to buy Tesla are like in that $12.42 range, $69 and $92.38. So he's starting to short in an area where it's like 70% off of the ideal value for what a company should be. Huge mistake. I mean, we were saying that before the show. I'm like, he's gonna get his face ripped off. Because if a couple of institutional funds get behind it and they keep performing how they have, and once again, like if he gets focused on one company or he integrates those into a portfolio company, kind of like Alphabet did with Google, that's going to be a tough position to be short in. So I think it's a mistake. I think he's a good investor, but I think a little bit of hubris got involved here. I wouldn't be shorting Tesla here. Oh, huge mistake.
Yeah. I concur.
Huge mistake. And also that there's very little upside to shorting equities long term unless you have swaps on them or futures or like options to like just flat out short the stock. Like you're capped in what you can gain from the upside. And I can see if we had like a tailwind in the market where it's just like 2008 level, everything was falling apart. There was like a systemic ruining of capital markets at one time, and there's still money flowing into the market. I think, although Tesla could fall a little bit further, I did state the price in which I love Tesla to load the boat up at. Shorting here is a huge mistake. So no, but kudos to him. But this is not going to play out well. The only person I listen to blindly probably will be Michael Burry and Paul Tudor Jones, And right now, Michael Burry is not short Tesla at all, and he was previously. It's a bad price to get in. There's no such thing as a bad market, only bad entries into it.
So let's talk about FaZe Clan.
What happened?
FaZe Clan, legendary video gaming.
How about I give you the ticker and you can tell us what happened?
FaZe Clan, legendary video gaming crew who made history by going public on the stock market last year via SPAC, $1 billion valuation.
FAZE.
Had a high of $24 and it's currently at 70 cents and faces possible delisting after 6 months of being on the NASDAQ. Now, FaZe Clan is a company that I have said several times that I can see EYL kind of modeling a path forward. I retract that statement. I still respect everything that FaZe Clan
shout out to them in the interview, but
and what they have built, but we don't want to follow that footstep of getting delisted 6 months into the situation.
Yeah, we can say this one dead, as Biggie would say, nothing but slow singing and flower bringing. The burger alarms start ringing. Like, if we look at the volume, it's only 11 million shares traded.
Yeah.
This month in enero. At its peak, 52 million. That was August of last year. I mean, and any company that took the SPAC route, I mean, you know, but we both got pitched to take one public. Thank God we didn't. So a couple of things weren't adding up. He was like, well, you didn't say he's going to be involved. Like, you didn't say no chat. And I did not say that. I need 10 million before I do that. Yeah, it's the companies that had no value are going to die. Normally, if you have to go a SPAC route and you're not publicly traded and you're not on a big exchange, there's a reason why. That's like the guys who like, well, I ain't going to say that about basketball players. Never mind. But like, if I'm great at playing basketball and I never made it to the league, there's only so much ish I can talk, right? The SPAC is like, what's lower than the G League?
You got to go like by country after that. Like,
so if I'm playing in,
I don't want to say Puerto Rico, but
Armenia.
No, we're not gonna do that.
Crazy.
Armenia.
Yeah, if I'm playing over there, like I'm not as good as I think I am. So the SPAC route, I mean, all the SPACs fell apart.
So the SPAC is a backdoor way to get listed on the stock market without having to go
when you're not good enough to go the main route,
without having to go through all of the red tape and regulation and all of that stuff that you would do traditionally to get listed on the stock market. And that was very popular in the last couple of years. A lot of
record-breaking numbers.
A lot of SPACs.
They're breaking records now, falling from 24 to.
So is that over? Is the SPAC wave over?
Yeah,
hell yeah, it's dead.
That
just with options, NFT, all the other I said too. But no, Rashad, why you let Ian act crazy like that? I was trying to save y'all.
So
now I'm just gonna be bougie and go to the Grammys and the Oscars and wave like this.
So here's what happens in the delisting process, because it feels like this is going to be inevitable. Under NASDAQ rules, any company that fails to close above the $1 mark for 30 consecutive days is issued a deficiency notice, which can trigger a delisting. They're on pace for that. It's not an immediate action, but once the notice is issued, the company has 180 calendar days to return to compliance, meaning it must close above $1 for 10 consecutive days, and some companies receive a grace period of 180 days if they meet special requirements. So it's time to raise the red, well, I guess the white flag.
It's time to get the caskets out.
Yeah, this does not look good for the good folks over
there. And
there.
trading was halted for Bed Bath & Beyond too the other day because they defaulted on their loan.
Yeah, let's talk about this Bed Bath & Beyond. So Bed Bath & Beyond halted after defaulting on their credit line. What can we learn from this situation? And is Bed Bath & Beyond stock dead?
Espiritu Santo Muerte, right? I asked you guys 2 weeks ago, going to Bed Bath & Beyond after the episode, I went in, stayed in there 45 minutes, was on Instagram. Saw 9 people walk in. 2 people bought things. I'm not a business expert and I'm no Milton Friedman of any sort, but if you buy, if 9 people come in and 2 people buy and the average purchase is probably $40, not too well. These businesses are dead. Like, we're going through a revolution in where things are changing. People don't want to leave their house to buy anything. Who's Bed Bath & Beyond's number one competitor? Amazon. Tough competitor to have. Even if you want to go Wayfair or Restoration Hardware, tough competitors to have. This is not 1999 to 2003 where you're going to go in there and get your little candles and get it cracking. It's over with. Bad management.
Yeah. And it don't matter how many 20% coupons you get. Is not.
Which, even on that, if you sell on price and discount alone, look at what happens on average. Disaster. As you take Hermes or Chanel, I know some of y'all still wearing Balenciaga, Rolls Royce, Mercedes. When you're at the higher tier brackets, you're able to stay in business a lot longer, have more profits, because economies of scale do matter when you have a luxury price point. That's why even people tell me I charge too much. I'm like, I hear you, but all the ones that charge too little go out of business too fast. Like, I don't see a hedge fund doing 0% management fee and then getting 3% on the back end for the culture. Some are doing 4 and 40 now. Pricing matters. Pricing matters. But rest in peace to Bed Bath & Beyond.
Hold your head.
I would like for you to pay me by the hour.
Hold your head.
In the words of Dwayne Carter.
The legend.
All right. Last thing. What are 3 of the biggest industries or opportunities we should focus on in the next decade?
Number one, it's a really tough industry to crack into. Homework assignment, you need to go look up nuclear fusion. I talked about this last year. But now we're starting to see some breakthroughs in that space. And unfortunately, like when sciences get moving and a lot of money is invested there, we usually don't receive a lot of capital. But nuclear fusion is going to be like an industry that's going to be ginormous over the next 10, 15 years. Number 2, while everyone's focusing on automation, I would love for one of you to make an enterprise version of ChatGPT or some automation so we can take it to every company on earth and say, hey, if you lay off 10% of your workforce, I can give you the results as if you hired 60% of the current staff that you have now and do it for a 1/90th of the price. Pay us $15 million up front. Companies are looking to do that now. They just haven't been able to crack the code. You think they are building ChatGPT and having new versions come out every month so you can make fire Instagram posts and blog posts? Nope. That Slack deal didn't look so damn well. So it's pretty smart if they took that technology over there and helped CRM rebuild their business for Adobe or Cisco, which is falling apart by the seams. So automation on the enterprise level is going to be a multi-billion-dollar business. And the last one is back on the science side. We need more research. We need more people from the culture on the research side to prevent and understand what the next pandemic is going to be. One of my favorite video games, even though I don't play many, amazing TV show, Last of Us. I talked about this last year as well. So Toxoplasma gondii, which is an infectious disease that attacks the brain. Going back to this, always foreshadowing in these shows, because consultants from different organizations are paid to be on the writing staff. We need to find a preventative cure if there's like a mass fungal outbreak at scale. And I know everyone's going to be like, it's crazy, but then we had the little cough and the little bat soup lie conspiracy theory that happened that turned out to be COVID. So on the sciences side, the life sciences, we need more of us there. And then on the business side, we need commercial automation at scale. So those are the 3 industries. Like if you want to get really rich over the next 10 years, are 3 that you should focus on for sure.
Those are good.
Thank you.
I'll add, because I thought you would go there, but I'll add cybersecurity in there. And I thought you were going to go there when you were talking about data, but data and analytics companies. If one of the things, like we said after we came back from Switzerland, was like, yo, they're collecting data at a different rate, and the way they're getting it is, like, it'll blow your mind. What they're gonna do with it, they're never gonna tell you. You'll be a product of it. And so I think data and analytics, obviously we spoke about Palantir, but companies like Oracle, IBM, who are already huge in this space, I think it only keeps growing. And then obviously healthcare, right? If we're talking about spaces and we're talking about disease and we're talking about treatment, this is one of those things that is recession proof. It's going to be around for every decade because we're always going to need treatment, and people are always going to get sick. People are always going to be born. People are always going to die.
Healthcare is probably the number one industry to be in. And if I was a black creator starting, if one of you can find out what the value, I'm gonna go my little Joe Budden, right? What the value of a stream is, right? If you can identify what the value of a Spotify, YouTube stream is really worth, and put that out to the public and help them get those streams. But then you will be attacking the entire industry of Spotify and how they're in bed with the labels. But the great part about the music industry is if you build great tech, they'll let you come in and destroy the industry on their behalf, just to partner with you. Can anyone tell me what the real value of a stream is on YouTube and Spotify right now? That's a lot higher than what they're paying out. But what do I know? If I run to anybody at Spotify at the Grammys, I don't meet you. We got some deals to do. Hello, hola. How are you?
Hey, folks.
Duolingo, call me.
Yes.
Trying to put Duolingo and OnlyFans together to build a new way to learn other languages.
Yeah, OnlyFans.
Hey,
Change the game.
it's crazy till it's not.
Change the game. Shout out to Herb McGruff.
Harlem's own.
He was also at the Apollo for that performance.
He performed?
Yeah, Cam brought him out.
He did a song though?
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
Yeah, man.
Mace top 2 Harlem rappers all time.
Maybe one.
I think I was gonna say one, but
top 2 and maybe not 2.
Nah, it's debatable. It's debatable.
Between him and who? Big L?
From a longevity standpoint, Cameron definitely had a longer career than Mace, and probably was more impactful as far as diplomats. But Mace, there would be no Harlem World movement if it wasn't for Mace. He blew the door down
For Betha.
But sure. Mace, he only had one album, but
He had 3 albums.
He had 2. He had double up.
Saying he had one.
And the Breathe, Stretch, Shake,
And then
Let
he
It
had
Go.
the Welcome Back album.
He had one.
Breathe, Stretch, Shake, Let It Go.
What? He had one album that was of any relevance.
The Harlem World joint?
Harlem World. So Cam, it's
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's
I could argue Jimmy been better than Cam the last 12 years.
yeah, not for sure. But over the course of their career, Cam is still
Cam. I get
you. Know what
you.
I'm saying? But Big L is up there.
Big L tough,
Yeah.
yo.
From Big L's up. Big L, top 5 Harlem rappers of all time is Cameron, Mace, Big L, Jim Jones, and Joel Santana.
At the time, Big L was better than Hov to me.
Yeah, you could make the argument for that for sure.
Yeah.
So that's top 5 Harlem rappers of all time. Jim Jones, when we had him, he did not have Mace in his top 5 Harlem rappers.
He did not.
That's crazy.
Betha.
That's a classic.
Want to play
moment.
games with me, Betha?
Honorable mention, definitely Dougie Fresh, Rob Beast, Herb McGruff, Black Rob.
Black Rob, rest in peace.
Black Rob was phenomenal. Yeah.
Black Rob, honorable
Yeah, rest in
mention.
peace to the king.
G-Dep.
Honorable mention.
G-Dep, don't do that. I'll play Child of the Ghetto right now.
G-Dep got he got one. Yo, his album's hard, bro.
G-Dep, amazing.
That's a good album.
Honorable mention.
Yeah.
Honorable mention.
He got to be 6th man out of Harlem.
But yeah. Now that's a pretty good lineup.
Harlem
But diplomats, you got to put all 3 of them.
in the top 5.
Yeah, you got to put all 3 of them in the top 5.
I think Mace probably number 1.
Mace may be numero.
Oh no, you can't put all 3 of them in the top 5,
Yeah.
right? Because you gotta have
L.
you gotta have Big L. And no, you can put
You
them
got
all,
5.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can do Mace, Big L.
Yeah, Big L, Mace,
Cam,
and
the
then-
Diplomats?
and then Diplomats, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
ASAP. You forgot about those guys. ASAP. To me, Ferg is better than Rocky. But
I agree 1,000%.
Ferg,
Yo. I always thought that.
Rocky definitely. He changed.
He got the movement going.
He changed the game, and he got the movement going.
Now, what about battle rap?
And he got Rihanna. That
You
count
put
for
Lux in the
14
conversation?
points.
Yes, battle rap, of course. Loaded Lux and Murder Mook, T-Rex. Harlem has the best battle
I know
rappers.
T-Rex from
They have
Harlem.
the best battle rappers.
Yeah, Lux number one.
Loaded Lux. He lost. He
Yeah,
lost
that's
to
a good
Murder
point.
Mook though.
I know, but
But yeah, Loaded Lux.
Yeah, Lux a different breed.
you gonna get this work.
You gonna get this.
Can I bring a casket out next Market Mondays? Gonna get this work.
Vado, honorable mention,
Somebody put Vado in there.
and Dave East.
Shout out to East. Shout out to
like
East.
that.
Dave East is nice. Nah.
That's your guy.
Nah,
Yeah, I
Dave
like
East
that.
is nice.
I like
Dave
that.
East is nice. Yeah, there's a lot actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, but ASAP,
That's so Rocky and Ferg.
Ferg.
I think Ferg better.
Yeah, you probably got to put Ferg ahead of it. I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh,
And his father, a legend too.
I was just on the phone.
Loon?
Shout out to Loon.
Loon.
Yeah,
That's
shout out
crazy.
Loon.
Somebody
Yeah.
put Loon. I'm thinking to myself, wait, Loon.
Loon is up there.
I'm telling you, man.
Loon fire, though.
A special. Here's a crazy thing. 20, like maybe an hour before we would start Market Mondays, I was on the phone with Zoom call with Ryan Leslie and Loon. And he was telling me how he did that. I got a girl that'll ride for me. I'm like, that's your
He
beat?
killed that.
He did the beat.
That's his beat. I'm like, yo, that's my favorite Loon
Nah,
song.
Loon-
And then he calls Loon, and Loon's on the phone, and we talking about it. But Loon is doing
That's
some
dope.
amazing things in tech.
Yeah, he
I
is.
told him
He a good brother.
he's gonna be traveling over the next couple of weeks. But as soon as we get a chance to sit down with him, I can't wait for people to hear what he's doing. Just an amazing dude, man. Super sharp, super intelligent, and is creating a wave in tech.
And
So
he's a
it's
good
dope.
dude.
Solid.
And we can't forget the wave guard. We cannot forget
Bigger
the
Bell?
wave guard. Max
Yo.
Bigger Valley.
I was gonna say Bigger Bell.
We cannot forget.
He gonna shake some up. He get out.
We cannot forget the wave guard. Wow.
Home
There's
Any-
actually a lot of people.
Home Any Dega.
From Harlem.
There's a lot of people that
Yeah, he get out. He gon' boy.
Mav Hoffa is from Brooklyn. Shout out to Mav Hoffa, but he's not from Harlem. Man, Max B's up there. Max B's actually up there.
Who you taking off?
I can't take anybody out of the top five,
Oh,
but
okay.
he's up there because he's
6 man.
influential,
Yeah, as hell.
very
Yeah.
influential. Charlie Clips definitely he's from Harlem also,
Oh,
one of the best battle
Charlie
rappers.
Clips. Yeah, remember him?
Hell Rell is from the Bronx.
He is. J.R. Ryder?
Is he really? I don't know.
J.R.
that.
Ryder was good.
Harlem.
J.R. Ryder was good. Uncasa, they was good. They were good. Smoke
There's some
Dizza.
heat
You
over
ever,
there.
you ever listen to Smoke Dizza?
I'm not. I've never.
Decent.
I've heard him in interviews. I've never listened to records.
Yeah.
Uncle Murder is from Brooklyn.
He definitely is 1,000% from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
There's a lot more. Harlem. This Harlem conversation is
Bigger Bell. Somebody put Bloodshed. Rest in peace to Bloodshed.
Yes. But that was dope to see. We wasn't there, but I got to see some of the stuff on Instagram, and that was dope for me, man. You know, that's the era that we grew up on. Clue mixtapes, and to see the Locks and Mace and Cam perform. They done started some.
Did they do? I'm
That's
assuming
nice.
they did 24 hours.
I don't know if they did 24 hours.
They didn't do it.
I'm not sure, but
I saw they did Horse and
they
Carriage.
did Horse and Carriage for the
Cam could not remember one word.
first time ever.
He couldn't remember a word.
But that was dope for me, man, to just see that. Like I said, I wasn't there, but I got to see some of the highlights online. Though Ash Cash was there, a few other people, and they had posted it.
Sonny was there. Shout out to Sonny.
Yeah, a lot of people was there, man. That was dope and very nostalgic.
Yeah.
Extremely nostalgic feel. Shout out to Jada Kiss.
Kiss did still feel me.
Shout out to Kiss.
Yo, he
man.
did still feel like. Yeah.
Can somebody on YouTube put who owns Apollo?
I'm
dead serious
somebody
about
put that they not selling.
Shit. No one's selling to the paperwork. come through.
We're not selling. Okay.
This
we're
is very
selling.
strategic to have this many hip hop shows back. Like there's a move there being made.
Yeah. Let's get some people.
Like when Drake did it, and Drake can sell out Staples on accident. There's a reason
Before
why.
we leave, we gotta talk about this hip hop 50 list. So it's getting closer.
What number we at?
We at number 21 now. So
I missed 10.
Vibe magazine, Billboard and Vibe magazine have collaborated to do a greatest of all time list. Number 50, Rick Ross. 49, Rev Run. 48, Melly Mel. 47, MC Light. 46, Jadakiss. 45, Ice-T. 44, Queen Latifah. 43, Bun B. 42, Redman. 41, E40. Dr. Dre is at number 40. 39 is Ludacris. 38 is Gucci Man. 37 is Common. 36 is Mos Def. 35 is Future. 34 is Chuck D. 33 is Busta Rhymes. 32 is T.I. 31 is Lil' Kim. 30 is Lauryn Hill. 29 is Pusha T. 28 is Black Thought. 27 is Q-Tip. 26 is Big Pun. 25 is Method Man. 24 is KRS-One. 23 is Curtis Blow. 22 is Ghostface Killer. And 21 is DMX. That's where we're at right now. Let me just say this.
What?
This might be the worst list I've ever seen.
KRS at 24.
KRS should not be over Method Man.
How do you have Gucci Man?
Definitely should be over Method Man.
How do you have Gucci Man ahead of Rick Ross? How do you have, no disrespect, how do you have
Gucci should be a little bit higher.
Pusha T over Jadakiss? How do you have Curtis Blow over T.I.? How do you, this is confusing. Extremely confusing. Yeah. To say the least.
That's what happened when people want clicks.
To say the least.
This is about Vibe and Billboard, right? I'm sure. Can we go Google what Billboard's revenue is over the last 7 years? I'm sure we'll see a correlation.
Yeah, it's just some of these things. It's just some of these things are actually mind blowing. Like when I see Curtis Blow at number 23, that's mind blowing.
So we got.
That's mind blowing.
Who haven't we seen though? So we know that.
Black Thought at 28.
Black Thought, nice.
Really?
I'm not mad at him in the top 30.
Incredible.
I'm not mad at him in the top 30.
Just saying, 28. Mos Def, 36. Really? Future should be a lot higher.
Well, we haven't seen him yet.
Wait, Future's.
He's already. They said his name already.
He's 35.
Oh wow.
How is Dr.
That's
Dr.
crazy,
Dre not even a rapper?
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yes, he is. If that's the case, Kanye can't be going.
Well, Kanye, his name hasn't come up yet, so
yeah,
Kanye got to
he'll
be
top
top
5.
Nicki got to be top.
He'll
20.
be top 5. Nicki on the list yet?
Nah, so she's in the top 20.
Greatest female all time.
Wayne's in the top 20, obviously.
Biggie, of course. Tupac.
Yeah, we could probably name them.
Interested.
They gonna fumble.
I'm still mad that Rick Ross is number 50.
I ain't see Raekwon yet. Raekwon didn't come up yet.
Raekwon did not. Ghostface is number 22.
So then Raekwon probably in the top 20.
Or they might not be on the list.
There's no way he's not on the list.
That would be crazy. Who better, Raekwon or Ghost?
Well, they got Meth at 25. So if Meth's at 25, Raekwon in the top 20.
Raekwon has to be on there, yo. And Meth's my favorite Wu-Tang member, but Ray got to be on there.
Damn, they did my boy KRS like that, 25. That's disrespect.
24.
Where's Joey Crack at?
He too high.
Joey Crack is not on the list. Joe Crack has not appeared on the list.
KRS-One not better than Black Thought. I know he a legend. We're not gonna do this though.
KRS-One is more important than Black Thought. He's more important.
Definitely is.
He's more important than Black Thought.
Shout out to the Bronx.
What's the title of the list?
What?
What's the title?
What's the title of the list? Yeah.
50 greatest rappers of all time.
50 greatest rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he not fucking with Black Thought.
Nah, he definitely is.
Yeah.
Gucci should be higher than what he is too.
KRS, he more important than Black. KRS more important than Black.
At one point, they had him. Pre 1997.
Yo,
he was in the top 5.
Ian.
That was a lot in.
That wasn't a lot. Stop.
Ian.
I'm learning.
Name me 2 Black Thought songs.
Can't. I can't name 5
outside of what they do, and no disrespect to them.
No. The super.
Shout out to the Roots and all of Philly. We gave Philly praise.
Shout out to
let's
the
be
Roots.
Serious.
Shout out to Black Thought.
And he got one of the best
got some
freestyles on
Spotify.
Flex ever.
But come on. Let's
what they do, and then what? Oh, maybe you got the joint with Erykah Badu.
Songs in '96 either, but that's too high. Name me 8 KRS-One.
The bridge is over. Nah,
Stop.
That's the sound of the police. Like
Philosophy.
What's the name of the song though?
The bridge is over. That's the name of the song.
South Bronx. Criminal Minded.
No, I asked for Shy.
You know I'm gonna go crazy.
Troy ready. Hey, anybody who ever debates Troy, he already has his answers lined up. Mike Abdullah, what that footage of the Notre Dame argument? Y'all should have been put on.
Shout out to all the hip hop artists, man. Hip hop 50th. It's the 50th anniversary.
We're gonna make our own list.
We should.
We're gonna make our own list. Everybody else doing it. We're gonna make our own list.
We should.
Greatest rapper list?
Man.
Come on, man.
I'm a child of hip hop, man. We're gonna make our own list.
Big Pun better than KRS-One.
Stop, bro.
Pun nice
though.
Pun different. Pun different.
Cool.
No, Pun nice.
Give me one
Pun
verse
nice.
that's messing with Little Italy and Scissor.
Pun nice.
What?
Pun nice.
Pun different.
Man, I'll call every Latin king I know right now and give him the vote. Never quit playing with me. Yo, and shout out to KRS-One. I'm going to see myself out Southwest and get beat up. I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke.
Real hip hop.
I don't want no issue.
Prodigy better be on the list.
Prodigy's not gonna make this list, bro.
Big facts.
Prodigy better be on the list.
He's not gonna make it.
Top 20. At one point, Prodigy and Hove was like
Prodigy was the best rapper.
Neck and neck, yo.
He was the best rapper.
Like 93, 94.
Prodigy was the best rapper at one point.
He was never the
Prodigy. Yes, he was.
Rapper, bro.
I'm only 19, but my mind. That
was a verse of the year, but he's never the best rapper, bro. Pick a year. He wasn't the best.
Prodigy.
What year?
I'm talking about just from rapping.
I mean, it's a little video floating around to say Jay wasn't the best too.
Big and Nas
Prodigy, man.
Big and Nas are better than him in 95.
Prodigy.
That's for sure.
Prodigy.
And Raekwon might have been.
94, Prodigy had the world shook. No pun intended.
Prodigy.
They didn't come out. The
95.
Shook ones came out in 95.
No, it came out in 90.
But the Purple Tape came out in 95. So was he better than Rae?
To me, that album is better than Purple Tape. Infamous is better than Purple Tape.
I agree.
Infamous different.
I bought Infamous 4 times. I got 2 tapes and 2 CDs. Different.
The Infamous LP, legendary.
I think they're equal. I can't say better.
Legendary.
I won't say better.
And the Purple Tape is legend. Purple Tape is legendary.
It's called a color.
Yeah.
But that infamous project, but
he's never the best rapper.
He was, arguably.
Prodigy was nice.
I'm not denying he was
Prodigy
nice.
was dead nice.
The best?
Everything he was getting.
Delivery, voice.
He's murdering everything.
Yeah, he was different.
Big? Like Big. We're talking about the prime Big. We're talking about prime Nas.
You're talking about prime Prodigy. Prime Prodigy.
Ray's there.
Look, man.
We're not even talking about Sean Carter yet.
Bandana P.
No, because in 94, Tupac put out Me Against the World in 95. Prodigy was cooking.
No, he's nice.
Prodigy,
he's nice.
When that remix came out, with Who Shot You? Illuminati. He said Illuminati in 90. He was the first person to say Illuminati.
He was the first.
That's not true.
Illuminati with my mind, soul, and my body.
He was not
like
the
he
first.
pioneered. Who else talking about Illuminati?
Who was the first one, Troy?
But when?
94.
Nah. When?
That's true.
What's the lyric?
That's true. But they were bigger.
He said
Prodigy was bigger.
They didn't say
They
Illuminati.
made a whole video about it.
But they never said.
And for everybody in the comments, like, we ain't come to see y'all talk about
I'm sorry, that's why we're going to make our own list.
But let's keep going.
Every Monday, we're going to put out 5 more people.
Illuminati with my mind, soul, and my body. Secret society trying to keep the eye on me.
Right at the Grammys.
Trying to keep the eye on me.
Yo, we gotta go.
Lucian Grange, what's happening?
Before we go, there's a couple things that happened since we saw each other last week. Obviously, January 26, 2020 will always be a day that we will never forget. Where we lost the great Black Mamba Kobe Bryant. So rest in peace to him, and obviously the other families that lost their loved ones in the tragedy. Our thoughts and prayers still go out, man. Every time I see Kobe, it still brings back the memory of how we felt in that moment. Yeah. It was actually our first EYL event where we were in Atlanta, and to break that news to people at that time, it was tough. So rest in peace to that. Also, happy birthdays. I want 2 gentlemen, man, that I grew up with. Shout out to my brother George and my brother Spence. They were fathers before we even knew what it was to be a father. Their daughters turned 20 this week. So happy birthday to Kira. Happy birthday to Sai. It's incredible. Shout out to y'all for leading the way and showing what fatherhood could look like from our generation. Shout out to Ty, too. I know he was a father as well. So shout out to y'all. And today was a big day for EYL Network, the one and only girl CEO show.
Ronnie Brown.
Debut. Shout out to Ronnie Brown, who also just had her birthday. Her show debuted.
Check it out. out right now.
Make sure y'all go support that,
on
man.
platforms.
Please go support that. That's love.
Ronnie Brown, check it out.
Special. She's special, yo.
Check it out.
Oh, happy birthday to my cousin Shayna. I love
Happy
you.
birthday. And LA, headed back to Cali. I'm going back to Cali.
Hey.
LA, always vibes. Looking forward to seeing you. Once again, Wednesday, we're doing a Nipsey Hussle class at Loyola Marymount College. Shout out to Dave Gross. And we'll be out there for the whole rest of the week. Politicking, handling business. We will be on. This is a business trip. But you may see us at the highlight reel. You never know.
Shout out to Chet Hanks.
You never know. You never know what could happen.
Perhaps.
And Wiz Khalifa. Hey, Amber. How are you?
Perhaps.
You never know.
Yeah. If y'all going to be at a Lotto party, I'll see y'all there.
Lotto.
Shout out to Babyface.
Big Lotto.
We'll ship you.
Somebody just paid $65,000. That's a crazy NFT for what they just paid for. You seen what Academics posted?
No,
What happened?
They paid for a intimate item of Lotto, $65,000.
Oh, undergarment?
That's crazy, yo. The simping is real. Ladies, okay, you want to come up real fast? Just get in them DMs. There's a whole bunch of little thirsty somethings out there. Just make them, you want to take me on a date? Send me $3,000 to invest in Apple to not go on a date. I promise you send out 10 DMs a day, you'll come up with a quick 30,000 40,000.
40 bands on the come up.
These boys out here some lames. They'll send it to you.
40 bands.
Future.
It adds up,
Future
baby.
gotta be in the top 10.
Of rappers?
Atlanta?
Rappers.
Gotcha.
Future?
Top 10.
What? His discography.
I would say 20.
His discography is
25.
crazy.
Future's a legend.
He has like 20 albums.
He's a legend.
He's one of the greatest ever.
He's a legend.
He's one of the greatest.
You say he's top 10.
He's up there.
You don't mean that.
All right. Play Best of Future. Play Best of Future.
I'm not saying he don't got them things.
Play the best.
He got them things. He got 20.
Play the best.
Can you name me 9 more that are better? I'm not saying that he is, but you know the other side of the argument. Mike, let's clip these rap takes up too. And
the list is coming. The Market Mondays list is coming in honor of the 50 years of hip hop. We're gonna put our list out. It's coming.
Is this great as rappers or great as artists?
Rappers.
Like we talking bars?
No. It's not just lyrics. That's lyricists. That's like the best lyricists.
Gotcha.
But when you talk about rappers, you gotta talk about the whole package.
Well, I mean, at some point we got to put Marshall up there. I know it's popular not to like him, but Marshall got to be in that top 5 too.
Did they mention 50? No,
They haven't mentioned him yet, which is crazy.
He's gonna be in the top 20.
I didn't see him.
Because they didn't announce the top 20.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's got to be there, right?
50 Cent?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. What?
Of
He's
course.
gonna be there. Marshall gonna be high up there too.
Marshall gonna be in the top.
That's what I'm
5.
saying. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of somebody's getting left off.
That's what we gotta really see now. Because now we getting down to the
Ja Rule can't make the top 50.
Ja Rule definitely should make.
That's
the top
insane,
Like,
though.
what are we talking?
Ja got a catalog.
Ja Rule?
50. Ja Rule's in the top 50.
You put Mos Def ahead of Ja Rule?
Ja Rule's top 50.
Of course he's top 50.
Is Joey Crack top 50?
Of course.
Didn't see his name.
Fat Joe, that's
Yeah, he
30. He's been relevant for 30 years.
Is Jeezy in the top 50?
Of course.
Absolutely.
So Jeezy got to be in this top 20 then.
Hold on, did they mention LL yet?
Nah.
That's a violation.
So he got to be top 20.
Well, I'm saying, so everybody can't be in the top 20.
We done named 20 names already.
Yeah, everybody can't be in the top 20.
Ice Cube wasn't there.
Andre 3000.
Stacks.
Andre 3000
J.
is
Cole.
top 7.
J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Drake.
Aubrey would be top 3.
Top 1.
He may have the best catalog in hip hop
He
history.
does.
It's tough,
he does.
man.
He does.
Kanye West. It's a lot of people, man.
So Nicki will be the number 1 female.
Of all time.
No argument. So she's top 20 for sure. Yeah, we just named the 20.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop got it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
looking at the wall.
Snoop Dogg.
Nip couldn't make the top 50?
Nip.
Not for the music?
Nah.
Influence.
Cameron.
Cam's not making this list.
Cam, he should
Nah,
be.
he
But
ain't
he's not
making
making
He's
it.
top. Cam is
I
a
don't think
top
so.
50 rapper.
He's not making the list.
He's not
That-
top-
making
After
that
Come
list.
Home With Me, his fall off was too hard. Come Home With Me, one of the top New York albums of all time, though. That's
So
my
they've
top
left
7.
out all the new generation guys. too.
Scarface.
Scarface should be in the top 50.
Scarface he's up there.
Where are these guys though? Where are the babies of the world?
Little Baby.
Yeah,
Lil Baby, not there yet.
not yet. Not enough work.
Too early.
Not that. No.
Fall gonna be drastic. That last album ain't really do it.
Little Baby?
Yeah, my turn was hard though.
Nah, his last album's tough.
No, it's not.
No, I ain't
Nah,
like
it
it that
is.
much.
It's actually not.
But
Too
California Breeze.
But shout
That's
out
the,
for
there's like 3 solid records, but it's the same flow. He might just need like somebody to say, "I'm a new producer. I'm a producer."
He said, "Whoever told you to come for me, that's a bad idea."
Yes, he's still, but it's the
Yo,
same
he's
melodic
spit.
flow, bro. It wasn't my turn. I think that's a classic for this generation, but the last one didn't really do it.
And all these debates on hip hop, Spotify still can't get their damn stocks to go up. Daniel, what are you doing?
All right, we gotta get out of here. Love is love, y'all. Be good to each other.
Well, I'll see y'all Tuesday. Are we staying at one of the places we normally
yeah,
stay? Yeah. We're coordinated.
Yeah.
If y'all in LA, Red Panda, I don't hear nothing. Y'all change. Y'all ain't for the people no more. Buy
we'll
some
meet over
fucking
at
tickets
Poke
and
Bowl.
show
We'll
up.
be at the Marriott at Venice Beach. Meet us for drinks.
Santa Monica.
Please. Catch us on Santa
Drinks on the
Monica.
shot.
Santa Monica. Here we come.
Suge Knight, Shotty, you want a red suit?
Yo, we out, y'all. Peace.
Peace. Love y'all.